Welcome everybody to MogTalk episode 138. Today we are going to have a very wonderful show, the first show in over like a month of MogTalk. We're going to be discussing so many things such as the state of PvE and of course Eureka. If you guys are new to MogTalk, MogTalk is a show based around the Final Fantasy XIV community discussing everything from Chocobo Racing to Savage Raiding. And before we get too deep into this, I do want to introduce our cast today. One by one, I'm going to go from the top right corner here, and then I'm going to go down and go around kind of clockwise. So first off, you guys might be familiar with him. I don't know. Some of you have seen his stream before. Mr. Arthars here, who has recently gotten a green screen, and it's been like the highlight of his life from what we've seen. Arthars, say hi to everybody. Tell everyone who you are.
Hey, yo, everybody, what's up, man? I'm Arthars. I don't know what to say. Shit. Yeah. Just an Asian streaming, I guess.
Just an Asian stream.
Like Frosty saying, recently got a green screen, having a lot of fun with it. Yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
check the channel out if you want.
You could say you're Singapore first Eureka level 20, right?
I have no idea, am I? I don't know.
If I had to guess, I would say yes. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
How many people in
Yeah,
Singapore
there
play
are.
Final Fantasy 14?
There's quite a lot. There's actually quite a lot.
Really?
Recently, very recently, I started attending some Singapore streaming stuff because I didn't know there were like a local streaming community. So recently I attended, I realized that, oh shit, a lot of people actually play games and stream. And then I've been wandering, watching around. And then I noticed that, yeah, there's quite a few Singaporeans, if not a lot, playing Final Fantasy. A lot of them streamers as well. A lot of girls.
Oh,
I'll tell you,
okay. So that's why you're going to the
Singapore-
events.
Dude, listen. Singaporean streamer girls, right? They're all so pretty. Oh my god.
Does your wife know about these clandestine
Yeah.
streamer meetings you're going to?
Oh, dude, I brought my wife along as well.
Oh, there you go.
Does she
It was-
geek out
oh my
like you
God.
do?
No. She's like, wow, they're all so pretty. I'm like,
Oh, not as pretty as you, right? That's what you're doing.
Frosty knows. That's how you see? You go around, you make everybody happy, but you come back and make the waifu happy. That's all it matters. You see, Frosty
Okay.
knows. Yo, Frosty, you're going places, man.
Okay, I got you. All right. Next, we have what we assume is NA first Eureka player, Mr. Balana Rao here, who's been on plenty of Mog Talks. Very hardcore raider. How you doing, Balana?
Doing great. I'm finally getting caught up on sleep. I didn't sleep the night before patch, so I did 36 hours, and then I slept for 12, and then I did 36 hours again, and then I slept for 12. And don't be like me; it sucks.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Glad to be on the show again, Frosty. I think it's like my 15th time on here. So.
Yeah, I think we're at the point to where we need to get past the knife set and give you like a placard or something, right?
We're getting there.
Okay.
We get like a little silver plaque, like when I'm on here 50 times.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. And then next we have also on the show plenty of times, wonderful world first, currently the world first champion, Kyo. Kyo, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for having me back. Yeah. I also went really hard with Eureka, but I sadly did not claim the first spot.
World first. Well, sorry, I should have declared that world first.
See,
Savage
he's
Raider.
he's the current content champion. That's Balana.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I did well in Sigmascape, so
No, I lost by 7 hours for the JPs, so
that's true. You
not world champion. At
We'll
all.
have to settle with NA first for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, today, guys, I brought on all these wonderful people because they're people I've had wonderful experiences discussing Final Fantasy XIV with so far. And I wanted to kind of dive into Eureka as it's the most talked about content currently, of course, because it just came out recently within, 5 days ago? Is that right? Is that Tuesday, 5 days ago? Am I doing
Wait,
days
today
right?
is Sunday?
You're asking the wrong people. All these days are blending together for us.
It's like somebody took an eraser and just smudged the
Yeah, five.
together.
Full last week.
So, and you guys are all level 20, so you've experienced the content to its, not, I would say, 100% fullest, but almost pretty much there. You're at cap. There's still, I'm sure, more to go, right? You haven't discovered everything.
There's 2 NMs I haven't done.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I think there's some NMs I haven't done yet as well.
Yeah.
Just the 23 and 24. No, I did the 23. I haven't done the 24.
Okay.
Wait, there's a
Apparently,
23, 24 NM?
Yeah, the 23 is Cerberus.
Well, the actual level is
oh.
19 and 18.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I meant the name of the placeholder. The placeholder was 23.
Okay.
Well, besides Eureka, I do want to dive in past this, guys, later on. I want to discuss the current state of PvE with Final Fantasy 14 because that's been a hot topic as well. It's really funny how the player base reacts to content now. I feel like everything that comes out, it's immediately either hated or immediately loved. There's no like, oh, this is okay, this is good, this is fine. It's always like one way or the other. Do you guys agree with that, or am I just making shit up?
And I think that's what rises.
Relatable?
Yeah.
That's sort of what rises to the top on Reddit, right? If that's what you're looking at.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I'm also looking at Twitter, right? And all the people I have followed in the Final Fantasy 14 community for Twitter. Are they just harping what you think Reddit's saying?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? I've been out of touch for the past few days. I don't know what other people think.
Yeah, okay. So let me tell you what other people think. How condescending does that sound? So the initial reaction to Eureka. Everybody pretty much just said, hey, this content sucks. It's stupid. It's just grinding monsters over and over and over and over again. It was such like a hate-it response. Everybody said, this is the new diadem. This is, I don't know what Square Enix is doing. Can they learn how to make content? This is not what we wanted. We wanted more mechanic-based stuff. We don't want to sit here and go through this snooze fest of grinding monsters. And I don't know. It felt like most people at least felt justified saying that. I mean, you guys could probably see where they're coming from, but what do you believe? Do you believe that was like a complete overreaction and that's something we should expect from the community? Or is that, I don't know, just level one? People just weren't seeing everything.
It sounds like you're describing the day one reaction.
That was day one.
That's the day one reaction when nobody knew anything about how we were actually supposed to do Eureka, and everybody was treating it like a mob grinding, which was awful. And I think everybody universally disliked what we did on day one.
Okay.
But we figured it out after that. We sort of sorted out some strategies for the more optimal play was more fun. So
all right.
it changed those reactions.
So now that you guys know a little bit more about Eureka, you feel like it's not as mind-numbingly stupid as people made it out to be.
No.
Well, okay.
There's definitely a lot of the fun part about it is it's sort of pick your play style game content. They don't shoehorn you into one way to play, and there's even multiple ways to do it, and it doesn't feel that bad. It doesn't feel like you're playing inefficiently. It's play styles. It's kind of cool. It's very open world content feel to it, which is different than the normal Final Fantasy 14.
Well, that's what they were going for, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what Diadem is supposed to be, right? I think that we talk about the similarities of Diadem.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things Diadem was shooting for was a sort of open world exploration feel.
Yeah.
So I think that they did better this time.
Did they achieve it? Did they do what we hoped they would do?
It definitely surprised me.
Okay.
When I look at the patch notes and I'm like, level 20? What, half a day? The moment I go in and beat on the first mob, I'm like, okay. I have no time, like Balana was saying, no time to read about other people's reaction, blah, blah, blah. So after a while, people come to the channel and start telling me about how the Reddit react. I'm like, I mean, come on, first day. When is the last time you see Reddit come up with compliments for first day content? Savage is too hard. Oh my God, Savage is too easy. Too hard is bad. Too easy is bad. Ultimate being hard is bad. Ultimate being reward, not incentivized enough is bad. Whatever the fuck it is. The first thing first, those Reddit people probably don't do them anyway. So first thing first, fuck Reddit, right? Second thing, don't read Reddit. So we are equally guilty. If you are there reading Reddit first front page at day one, looking at their responses, first thing first, you shouldn't be doing that. You are already wasting your time. And if you did, I want to pity you, but I mean, I'm sorry, man. You're just as equally as guilty.
So
You should be
people
doing
who
content.
read Reddit are bad as people who post on Reddit. Arthas.
I don't know, man. I just bunched them all together. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I will
I read
offend
Reddit,
people.
Arthas.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you post on the official forum, if you post on Reddit, I don't care whether it's informative or anything. First thing first, you should have known already by now. There's only this amount of people that appreciate what you posted. The other people appreciate fan arts or whatever the fuck. Look at my Mikote fireworks. I don't give a shit. So I don't give a shit about Reddit. But on the very same day, I was like, how bad can this be? Because the last time I went to is all about Mikote arts or Taru or oh, look at what I did, whatever bullshit, right? So I opened the browser on stream. I was surprised. I was like, what the fuck? Everybody is shit talking Eureka. I was like, okay, I mean, you guys tell me about that, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. So we browsed through really quickly. Wow, the amount of people. It's fucking level 1. I grinded 1 hour, I get 10 crystals. You need 1,500. This is so bad. You are fucking level 1. When you first time play a fucking MMO at level 1, when you buy the game, you install the game, you log into town, you choose your character, you choose your starting city, you choose your job. You are level 1. Did you get anything at all? You are given a fucking bronze sword. You go out, you slash something, you probably die the first mob that kills you. Now, suddenly, because it's Final Fantasy 14, it's a new content, everybody expect what? Shit to be handled. You are fucking level 1. There's 20 levels. Patch note says that you get more stuff the more you level. And then people start whining. That is where I'm like, okay, nope, fuck Reddit, fuck that shit.
Okay, all right. So what were people expecting, I guess? Were they just expecting something to come out and it was just like a carnival and it was wonderful and they don't even have to think about it and it's just fun? Fun just gets injected into their veins? Like what
Directly into the bloodstream, just fun right there. I mean, we were expecting the worst. We were expecting Dino Den 3.0. I got my Land Before Time 3, memes going before we even saw it going up.
Yeah.
But day one, that was the depression times. We just kept lying to each other, and we're like, "Yo, no, dude, don't worry, it gets better at level 9. Level 5, it really takes off. Don't worry. Oh, level 13, just get to there, and everything becomes really easy." But yeah, day one, we saw like one fate spawn for like the entire 3 hours you're in there, and you're like, I don't think we're doing this right. Whatever, keep pulling leshies. We're getting XP from those. So yeah, but I mean, everybody kind of overreacted to day one. Arthars was spot on. You're level 1. You're a flunky. You're junk. You're not gonna get anything. And people just aren't used to the MMOs where your level means absolutely everything. It's a very old school kind of mentality to have, where if you're one level below something, grab your nuts and get ready to ride. It's very EQ, very Final Fantasy 11, very Dark Age of Camelot, that kind of older age sort of open world content is what we're dealing with here.
Okay.
And funnily enough, every time we're trying to figure something out, the 11 players in our channel would be like, "Yo, this is how it worked in 11," and that's how it worked.
Yep. I use so much 11 reference because that is possibly the last MMO I played before 14, right? So that is my latest experience. Like Balana say, Dark Age of Camelot, similar. Back then, all the games are similar. This for us is like, yo, this is not something new. This is actually something familiar. Okay, I mean, the moment I pull the first few mobs and I noticed that you cannot chain pull anymore. All these people is like, let's pull 3 mobs together. Let's pull 4 mobs together. Very fast, very quickly, everybody start to realize that, okay, wait a minute, this is not the Final Fantasy you've been playing the last 4 years. So this is, I'm excited to see how these, because we don't know, right? We know there are people coming from 11. We know there are people who have prior MMO experience. And before 14, I think all games are kind of similar. For even 1.0 was a little bit grindy at the beginning. You still have to grind mobs to level up, It's just that suddenly coming to 2.0, since a Realm Reborn until today, something has been missing. I felt something has been missing. So when I start the first few hours, I'm like, okay, I at that point I stopped thinking about relics anymore. At this, every single patch I look forward to do relic, but this time relic wasn't in the mind anymore. My the first thing that come to my mind is, okay, I need to get maximum level first. How am I going to do it? How are people going to understand how it is? Slowly you start to understand, okay, you shouldn't be doing this, you should be doing that. We shouldn't be running here. We shouldn't be fighting this mob. We should be fighting what level? All these things starts coming together. All these come from previous experience, And then you start to see that some people doesn't seem to get it. Some people are fighting one level higher mob. They rather do this, do that. Like, you're like, wait a minute, this guys doesn't seem to be prepared. And then you link it to how first day reaction people are. It's like they doesn't know it. Although we can, I mean, I assume all of us here played older MMOs. I mean, we don't look young, all of us, right? Probably I'm the oldest fuck here.
No,
but,
I'm super young. I'm like 20. I'm like 15.
Yeah, I'm 12. What is this?
Yeah. My first MMO, man. No.
Oh my god. So it's like after experience, after reading through, I'm like, okay, these people doesn't get it. Like back to starting. It's so hard to grind. It's like wasting time. Like, dude, this is how MMO was supposed to be. The fact that you played the way Final Fantasy 14 was played the last 4 years doesn't mean that this is how the game should be played. MMOs, in the first place, ain't supposed to be like that.
Well, I mean, like,
I'm still playing it just for the MMO experience. I'm not. I can tell you there's so many things missing, but we carry on playing it because, sadly, this is one of the. It's not the best. It's kind of 14 is kind of like, but it's one of the best out there. We play it every day. That doesn't mean that it's right. We play every day doesn't mean that everything should be, just raid, just mechanic. It doesn't mean that something new like that or even something old like that coming into this old system cannot come in. So a lot of these people doesn't seem to get it.
Well, I mean, the new system for MMOs is to do everything you can to avoid just killing monsters. There's never just killing monsters. There's always go do a quest, get experience, go do a dungeon, get experience, go do a fate and get experience. And so when it came to just grinding monsters, people were not familiar with this anymore. Especially now when you jump through all of your levels and there's too many quests to even think about. You have like a point. You're always doing something for a reason, it feels like, with how MMOs are set up. But with this system, it feels like they just said, hey, let's go back. It was fun. 11 kind of had its own little thing. Ragnarok Online, right? You just go in there and you just grind stuff to level up. You just go out to kill things to get more powerful. You don't go out to kill things because somebody lost their breadsticks and you had to go kill some gremlins that took the breadsticks from them and return the breadsticks to the lady with the basket. I mean, that's not the reason, right? But that's how MMOs kind of work now. And so I can see how most people who aren't used to playing MMOs, and again, there are a lot of people who this is their first MMO, will be confused by that. And so they're like,
I think they are confused. Yeah.
They're like, oh, you didn't put any reason or thought into why I'm doing this. But in the end, it's just a relic grind. I mean, that's what it turns into, right?
It's a microcosm within a larger MMO. Like, we have a whole separate MMO within 14 in Eureka that's got all these different play styles to it, and yet we have the same skill set. It's very interesting how it's different. The open world is dangerous. It's so easy to die everywhere in the open world.
And it's punishing.
It's punishing. There's no quests. Like what you finish, what was it, like the level 7 quest, and it's like, well, your next quest is at what, 13? It's okay, that's ages away. Or is it 5? I think it was 5 to 13. It's just nuts. And you realize very quickly that you have to make your own content in a way. And it was about the community and then about us like figuring out how to work out fates and what was the most efficient XP and who is a leech and who is not a leech and all these complaint threads about people and what they're doing. And you trained a whole bunch of mobs onto me and then they aggroed all of us and all this sort of interesting dynamics that we don't have in this game right now. We don't have it in 14. And we get it to experience them all. And the familiarity with 11 is just a bonus.
That's like the most positive comment I've heard about Eureka in a while, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. And I feel like most people are going in that direction now, though. I feel like most people are saying, yeah, I'm actually kind of enjoying this. They've gotten over the whole, hey, this is just a grind, and got into like, hey, this is something to do that's different.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as I saw that when you grab the first quest in there, and you even get a journal entry, you didn't get anything popping up telling you what to do. I'm like, oh, that's what they're doing. Oh, this is like EverQuest quests where they don't tell you a goddamn thing. They're just like, do a thing.
Who reads Quest anyways, man?
Well, you gotta talk to Krill, and she's like, oh, go northwest. You're like,
Krill.
Yeah, Krill. She's a little shrimp girl.
Krill, right? What's her name? Is it not Krill?
Cryo.
Is it Cryo?
Cryo. Cryo. That's how I pronounce it. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea.
So for Eureka, like all the people who are having that issue, let's say someone like me who's not gone into Eureka and it had a whole bunch of experience with it yet. What's the advice for me? How do I go in there and how do I enjoy myself? How do I make the most out of it? What do I do?
Yo, you're gonna be hopping on that fate train.
Is it a fate train?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're low level, you don't have many choices other than to find the mob of 100 people and hope they res you.
Hope they rush you when you die. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you go in with a group? Do you have to play this with a group? Is this only a group
No,
activity?
absolutely not.
No.
No, you can totally solo, and so what you're probably going to do when you start out is you're going to be soloing at level mobs. Hopefully, find an EXP fairy. You solo at level mobs, and when a fate spawns, you're going to shout LFG and go to it. If there's too many people at the fate, if it's fate train and an A as it is running around, you might want to actually just go to the fate train because they'll kill the fate before you even get there, or the notorious monster. So you end up just sort of chasing them around until you get a high enough level to contribute in any way.
So, I mean, if you are just, do you have like if you just hit it once, do you get a lot less XP than hitting it 500 times if you're by yourself? Like, I know how fates work, outside of this, right?
That's what you want the party for. The party,
Okay.
you shout the LFG for the fate train so you can absorb the credit from people who are high enough to get credit.
Okay, I gotcha. So,
Tag it.
so you can go in
Leech,
solo,
basically.
but you're always trying to get a group. It's never like go in and just play by yourself 100%.
I mean,
Well,
once you start getting up there, yeah, you can go in there and solo a little bit. But Keo has a little bit more experience than I with it.
Soloing is totally a valid strat. It happened so there were a couple times where we had preformed parties going in, but one time I wasn't there. I had to raid. I come back, the preformed parties are all full, and so I'd zone in solo. And soloing mobs at level, even when you're at like level 10 or 11, 12, you can still get EXP chains that get up pretty high, and you'll make okay XP. And as long as you don't venture too far from the train, you can usually make it to the NM train, get a party real quick, and get credit for the NM too. And you actually level up just as fast. We had somebody who was leveling faster solo than our coordinated group was because he was hopping in and out of instances and catching all the NMs, and then leaving and then joining a new one. And he did that over and over, and he actually outpaced us for a little while.
Yeah, that
But-
was day 1, day 2, when there was a ton of instances and not a lot of fates.
Yeah. But people knew how to pop like 3 or 4. So he would absorb the 3 or 4 and then go to a new one, absorb the 3 or 4, new one, and keep repeating. Not efficient. A lot of going in and out, in and out, and in and out, and in and out, trying to get the right ones, but it's faster than we were going.
Does this feel a lot like doing hunts just in an instance?
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh,
mechanically, that's what it kind of is.
Okay.
We're essentially trying to pop hunts, though. Like, imagine the hunts have spawn conditions. So somebody's got to pop the hunts. So if the rest of the mob isn't doing it, then you got to do it.
Okay. So should people wait a while? Like, what's our limit here? When do we say, hey, we're not going to wait on people to get here?
Well, so I say this with hunts. The same etiquette applies to hunts.
Okay.
So the ideal world is we have multiple people scouting for different hunts in different zones, right? And then when you find a hunt, all those other hunters need an appropriate amount of time to teleport to the zone and run to the hunt, right? Because we're all sharing information. As soon as those people stop getting there in time, they get vindictive and they start to want to keep the hunts to their small group, right? Because they don't want to get screwed over.
Right.
So that's when they start making like little tiny, smaller hunt groups of active hunters and excluding the populace because they're getting screwed over. So the same thing applies to NMs. It's nice when there's multiple groups out there farming to try to pop NMs, and if you're all spread out, then by the time you get back to the NM that's popped, they all get credit. That's the trick.
Okay.
And that's not happening in NA. In NA right now, literally like 100 people will all go to one pop, mass kill it, and then murder the NM. So if you go off to somewhere else on the map and you try to pop a different NM for the group, what they'll do is they'll just murder it before you get a chance to get back to it. So it creates a sort of unhealthy loop that's going on. That's kind of the NA meta right now, and I think most of us don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the spawns it's a lottery kind of RNG system. Like you kill a mob and it's like a 1% chance to spawn the NM. Basically what people are doing is everybody's sitting around one slot machine pulling that one lever. What you should be doing is going down the aisle and putting people on all 20 of the slot machines all at once and have everybody pulling the lever.
Mm.
I mean, you might pull the lever a little bit slower, but you got more people on different slot machines.
Arthas, how is the JP community handling this?
Way different. way different. What we usually do is we make groups go in and fight mobs, and we really fight mobs. When I say fight mobs, we really fight mobs. We don't have 2 persons suddenly wandering off. We don't have 3 persons suddenly wandering off. We don't have the whole party wandering off. We will just fight mobs, and if there's an NM spawn, we'll make sure that if we can finish the 10 chain, 20 or 30 chain, we finish it, then we go over. But we can do that because people actually wait. Because everybody, like Balana is saying, everybody is spread out across the map. Then everybody comes in. Then usually kind of wait. I'm not sure how long we wait, but we wait long enough that almost everybody will be there to kill it. And everybody will then disperse again, do their shit again. So the reason why I couldn't say anything the last 5-10 minutes when Kionu and Balana is talking about how the NA do it, because it's totally different. And I'm curious how it works over there. And gotta say, man, that is really fucked up, man. That's really shit. That's really shit. You know, a lot of people coming in and tell me that they feel sad about this. I'm like, that is something that I don't want to say you yourself created, because not everybody.
Balana, you created it.
No, I don't think so. I think someone created it, and now everybody is part of the system, which I feel really bad, because that's not the way you should be doing this. But if you want to, you know, if like, you know, everybody keeps telling me the joke, oh, but it requires effort. And when it comes to needing effort, efficiency goes out of the window. It's all about zero effort, even its minimum reward. That is the way to go on NA. I'm like, okay. I mean, what else can I say? I can't contribute any to that, right? But what we do is we just fight mobs, and we don't stray away. Even if at the beginning level, because our NM don't spawn as often as NA spawn NM a lot faster because of the train. We only have like one every, say, 15 minutes. So everybody just do their grinding for 15 minutes, go to the NM. Everybody go back, do their thing, 15 minutes, go back. That is the very beginning, before level 10. So everybody is like kind of same level. So when we get to the NM, it's like, it gets very, not so messy. It's kind of very systematic, you know? And then when it gets to higher level, when you get past 11, that is where people start to decide, okay, we are grinding this mob. Do we really want to run across the map just for the Sabo Tender? You know, no. We were just like, okay, no, carry on farming our mob. Level 2 mob, and the other side of the corner, the lot of that fucking Kraken at the bottom right. Do we really want to go there just for that? No, let's just keep grinding our mob. Anyway, we are also helping to spawn. So this is what we do over here, which maybe is the right way, the way that it should be done. But just listening and actually seeing, you know, when I pop on to other people's streams, see how the NA do it, I'm like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But whatever works for you guys, man. So
yeah, you guys.
I'm not gonna sit here tell you
Balana.
exactly how it works. I can't sit here and tell you exactly how it works, and then suddenly NA is, oh, let's try, you know. I'm pretty sure they know it. At some point they will know it. I assume that a lot of NAs, maybe from Reddit, they come in late because they fucking spend the first 2 days whining on the Reddit. Third day, they finally decide, like, fuck, man, where are my white nights that we whine together? Oh, shit, my friends are actually doing it. Fuck, let me stop pressing F5 and post a new thread every 2 fucking minutes and actually let me go and try. So these people, when they go in, they can't solo, and this is the only way they can do. Because, seriously, man, the way I look at how you are doing, I can't see any... I just can't see how NA and EU now is going to suddenly adopt a new strategy, because the NM train just kind of got out of hand, man, I feel. At the early level, at least the early level.
Well, it's self-sustaining. The way the NM train exists, and it promotes more NM training, because you now have to choose. You can't solo and get fate. If you're soloing on the left side of the map and the right side of the map, the fate spawns, you're done. You're not getting there in time.
Yeah.
So if you
even for groups that want to do mobs, right? Oh, we want to farm this mob that is 5 level, 6 level higher. At the same time, we can contribute to spawning an NM. That is not going to happen in any server. That's not going to happen in any server. It's not going to happen.
It feels so awful doing that struggle for that amount of XP, and then you miss out on a 10k XP fate. It's like, man, I wish we'd just been there.
Yeah,
And then
I mean,
have people like sitting at the Fate AFK on a tree or something, waiting for it to spawn, because what's the point of doing anything else?
You know, I actually heard stories about.
What's Balana doing?
the cheer on emote. It's people.
Okay.
The Fate train. Everybody's just the Fate train works because it's free chicken. You can tab out and just wait for a Fate to spawn basically, and slash cheer on from a log. And
Well, you don't want to miss out too. So like, what can you do? You can't leave
Because there are people who
can't help
tried.
anyway. Like things get evaporated in the Fate mob. You get maybe one GCD. You throw like one spell at something as it dies. What's the point?
What the fuck? Really? That fast?
well, if you have to run
that
over and
doesn't-
get to it.
Uh,
Well, no. I mean the placeholders one. Like,
The placeholder mobs. Yeah, you can't do it.
you can't even help, because I mean the high levels that are there, whatever high levels there are just blowing things up. So there's just no point.
Because I heard people try, right? They say that in NA they tried. Some of them knows after you play a little bit of Eureka, once you understand the system, or you know, if you come from other MMO background, you immediately knows what risks to take, what not to take, what to do, what not to do. People actually start, you know, I heard NAs that start to make party together. But like Balana says, because it's just part of the system already, there's no reason for you to, although they put chain mob for XP, people still, you know, this specific level, people don't care. People just join your group because they know that eventually your whatever party objective is for, you are going to go for the NM. And because of all the, you know, NM, even if you want to camp, you can't. People is just wrecking your mob. And if you miss a fate, people is going to feel like, why don't we just follow? So whatever formula you try to put, whatever group you try to put together, it wouldn't work anymore. At the end of the day, it's going to drift into that train. You just subconsciously, your group just goes.
Let's talk about will this strategy survive? Like when, let's say in a month from now, everybody has all their relics. I mean, what's Eureka going to look like?
It's going to be different.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that people are going to just be able to farm like that anymore, right?
Yeah, you're gonna zone in. You're gonna be the only 8 people in the zone, and then you're gonna have to spawn the enemies and kill them yourself.
The only 8 people with the same level. I mean, that's the whole other thing. You have to be around the same level.
That is one problem. I feel the leveling thingy is one thing that I'm not sure whether Square Enix thought through, because if you know by now, right? If you're one level below or one level above, the amount of XP you gain and you compare, if you're okay, usually we talk about fighting X plus X. You know, you usually do +3 or +4 +5 +6 is the best. Usually you do +4 +5. Let's just say the mob is only +3 of your level. The amount of XP you gain compared to the guy that one level lower than you is so huge. The difference is so huge. The difference is almost 50%. And because of this, slowly people start to understand that shit, we can only make parties that is either same level or one level lower. And some people don't even want to join one level higher because, I mean, JPs would, but I can imagine eventually they will be like, once they understand how the XP system is, they will understand, wait a minute, I want to be the one lowest level. I don't want to be the one level higher. You don't find 2 levels higher, because the people 2 level higher is going to be get shitty XP. They probably end up wanting to go another group or do NM trade, or the lower level people is not going to contribute enough to kill the mob fast enough for those 2 level higher people. So I'm not sure whether Square Enix have thought this through, because 1 month later, are you, like Frosty said, are you able to get people at the same level to grind mobs? How is it going to look like 1 month later? I'm actually very curious.
I mean, we kind of had that happen. It's a little bit like a catch-up mechanic like that. We had some kind of later joiners just filling out the party because it was 2 a.m. and who wants to do Eureka then? Except for me. And they were like level 14 in a party full of level 19s, and like, hey, I'm getting 1,000 XP from each one of these mobs. This is kind of cool, guys. Yeah, keep pulling. Yeah. And you look at the DPS logs, they're doing like nothing. But I mean, they get you that LB2 though, so it's worth having in the party.
Just make them heal. No problem.
Put them on healer. Yes, if you are the lowest person, if they're the lowest person in the party, their level doesn't matter. Put them on healer. Have a red mage to res them every time they die, and minus shift them, and have them heal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, healing doesn't really scale with level at all. It's just the damage they deal. So we would always just shove the lowest person, if they had one, onto a healer. No problem.
All right. So I guess we'll just see too. I mean, when we hit this content's old and no one's really doing it anymore, unless if they add new incentives to farming this content or helping out and being a level 20 running around, which I can't even imagine. I guess they could throw another mount in there, but once they get that mount, when are they coming back? Right? I mean, that's kind of the weird thing with Final Fantasy XIV, I guess, and how it does rewards, is that you get the best reward, then you're just done with that content, right? Unless if you're like Kyo.
It's interesting though, because you could theoretically do something like asking a couple friends, level 20 friends, to zone in with you and pop Benems for you, and each level 20 can literally go solo kill entire camps of mobs really, really fast. So they could just like spread out and pop NMs for the small group, and then reform when the NMs spawn, and go each together and clear them. Like theoretically, you could get your friends to help you, and it'd be great success.
They're going to be cells. Leveling cell groups?
It's already happening already. I just saw my Discord. Someone posted a PF on it already.
Really?
It's already, yeah.
So you're like, hey, you pay everybody $1 million here. We'll help you farm for like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something.
Get that boosted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Well, I guess we might be seeing that coming up in the future. I mean, you would only need like a couple of level 20s, right? You don't need like a whole bunch of level 20s, do you?
It scales pretty well with, you know, I mean, there's 20 different NMs, and you could just have each person going to a different one, so that would scale pretty well with more people clearing more camps. So who knows?
I guess so. All right. So, future of Eureka, and I guess PvE content in general. Do you think that we need to kind of change up incentives and how people, like, can there be like, hey, you do this content daily and this is the fastest way to earn money without, I don't know, without crafting? Avoiding crafting, this is the fastest way you can make money. Was that like an incentive for content? Like if you went in there and they dropped a certain item that people need and you could sell that on a market board, would that be enough incentive to do it?
If I could sell these 6 Tyranno horns I have sitting in my inventory, that'd be great.
I mean,
or the like 2 stacks of loot boxes you've got or something.
I opened up one of those stacks. I have a stack left. That's my little baby. I keep. Here's 1,000 loot boxes. I'm never gonna open these.
Just in case.
I don't know.
It took me 2,000 to get the mount. And you know what's funny? You know what's funny? Earlier on stream, I finally started to bring my alt in, right? So my alt got 56 boxes. I'm like, you know what, guys? My alt is going to get it within these 56. And then on the 30th box, she already got it at level 6. At the 30th box, she got it. I'm like, I'm done. This is
stupid.
Yeah.
This is stupid. I just don't have any luck in terms of getting drops, or never. Since Final Fantasy 11, right? It's always been like that. So I'm like, okay. My wife knows. And her character always gets shit, and then I always can't get shit. So I'm like, okay, it's all over again. It's like,
Arthars, I would define you as like someone who has a lot of patience and endurance when it comes to content and getting things. So
yeah, I do. That's why I people came to my channel and say, yo, how much brain cell have you died during Eureka? I always look at them like, what the fuck are you talking about? Have you ever played an MMO? You think the current Final Fantasy 14 that you played pre-Eureka for the past 5 years, you think that's an actual MMO you were playing? How many hours do you spend logging in? How many hours do you spend a day playing Final Fantasy 14? Think about it. I would say on average over the 5 years, I would say you only play average, right? Spend out 365 days times 4, right? I'm not sure. Is it 4th year already or 3 years? I don't know. Whatever. Let's just say 4 years. Spread it out. How many hours of Final Fantasy 14 do you play a day? What, 2 hours? And people are sitting here and say there's nothing to do, it's not incentivized. Dude, sometimes playing an MMO is not about this thing has to be the best for you to do, right? Sometimes it's not to be, if Eureka have to put in this much effort, I should be at least getting a 370, but fuck you. This is not what MMO should be. If I were to go back Final Fantasy 11, playing 11 years, I can tell you that I'm not even exaggerating. I can tell you that my average play time a day is easily 5 to 6 hours for 10 years. That's a lot of fucking time.
Yeah.
And that's the MMO experience, right? People nowadays think that we grind so much. Balana got first 20. Kionu also got 20 pretty quick. I got 20. A lot of people get 20. How many days are we talking about? 4 days, 5 days, 4 days. It's just 4 days. And people start thinking that, wow, this is actually, so numb, not mind-blowing. You lose brain cell just 4 days. It's 4 days over the course of 4 years. You finally get things to do and you're not happy? Oh, because the reward is not good enough. Like, what? Come on, man. You're playing an MMO.
I like how you started like a little tiny train in chat where everybody's posting their playtime and showing how long.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. My playtime is about 2,800 hours right now. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get how people these days feel like.
Well, I mean, like, here's
seriously now. What have you been doing the past 4? I can't think of anything you've been doing the past 4 years. What you raid for 1 week after you clear, especially after you clear, you do raid for 1 day. You do expert dungeon for 4 days. You cap the week. What else? What the fuck else do you do?
I mean,
don't think anything else.
This style of MMO fell out of fashion for a reason. Like as soon as WoW came along and you got quests telling you what to do, and you can solo every quest, you can solo every mob, you can go through the entire game, use Duty Finder, and you join a group into a dungeon, clear the dungeon.
You know how mad I was in Wrath of the Lich King when they made I was infuriated, and I don't care, and I felt like, that's probably it makes sense. But I was so mad. I was a tank. You know how awesome I felt? Everybody's like, looking for tank. I'm like, I'm Mr. Popular here, man. I can go over here. People are looking for me to do dungeons. I'm fully geared up. I speed through it. I'm a badass. Now it's just like, oh, well, I guess I'll just get with these random people. They don't care about me. They just want to get through the dungeon.
That is something we've been missing. That is something we've been missing, especially in this game. Especially in this game. I feel like, you know what's funny? People in my Twitch chat, right, actually seen that, yo, is that guy again that you were partying yesterday? Yo, is that tank again? I'm like, dude, you guys actually remember who I party with? Yeah, I see that guy 3 times running past you with it. This is some of the experience that you yourself subconsciously didn't know. You are actually aware of people around you. You actually know that, oh shit, this type of content, this type of grindy content, when you run past this person also camping beside, you're like, oh shit, there's actually people around my level. You look at them, you're like, oh shit, they're actually level 17. When you are like 17, you're like, oh shit, these are the people that you probably will look at and say, yo, these are the players that probably care or knows what they are doing, and then you suddenly see some random 6 run by, you're like, yeah, the fuck this guy, no, get the fuck out.
The legend. Funny? People shit, and I'm just bringing this up, but this isn't the topic of the show, so I'm only just going to mention it. Keo can maybe agree with me a little bit. That kind of atmosphere actually exists in PvE in Final Fantasy, or PvP in Final Fantasy 14. You recognize every single person you play with. You know who you're playing with. You know who sucks. You know who's good. And it's just it's because it's such a small community, and that's why. But
I think it's important though. We didn't have this the last 4 years. People don't understand. People don't even care. They don't, like you said, it's probably, a lot of them probably their first MMO. They didn't know. They didn't know that this is something that can lead to something greater than just pure rewards. But for the past 2 days, I think people are starting to come up and understand it already. People has been coming up and say, dude, I hate it in the first place. I don't like the system. But I mean, nobody said Eureka is a good system. Nobody said that Eureka is the best of the best that you really have to have, must do in Final Fantasy 14. Nobody said that. I can sit down and tell you that, dude, this type of sometimes it triggers you, man. You think that I have to go through this whole process.
Sometimes, sometimes it triggers you. I feel like you're on perma-triggered, dude. Like, I don't think that you can get...
No. Like, Eureka is probably the most calm I've been because I'm familiar with it. I actually feel like I'm playing an MMO. I actually feel like, when I see people do stupid shit, I actually tell myself, okay, I would yell at them if they really do stupid shit at high level. But at the beginning, I will understand, okay, maybe it's your first time playing this type. I understand. You do +3 level mod, +2 level mod. You want to play, understand. You want to do you rather do +1, +2 level mod, massive pool, rather than actually chaining a +5, +6 level. I can understand that because that's what you've been playing the last 4 years. You go around dungeon, you pull everything, you run irresponsibly in open world. You think that nothing is going to kill you. You are never going to die. I understand that, right? So I'm usually more calm at that. Unless you do some really stupid shit, then okay, whatever. But I think now people are starting to get it. I think a lot of players, I think even the NAs, at least from what I'm told in my chat, people actually start to come in and say, dude, this is actually a very good. I didn't like it at first, but now you don't think about the reward. You actually, I mean, what else are you gonna do in Final Fantasy 14? What, expert dungeon? Do you still do the expert dungeon? I don't even want to do expert dungeon anymore. Even Eureka NMs give 5/10 tombstone. I will do Eureka and Cap, to be honest. And at the same time, I can level my out. Right? I'm not gonna do expert dungeon anymore. I'd rather go get crystals. I get gear. I actually get good gear. Not the best gear, like some people say, oh, it's not the best gear. Why do you even bother, right? But those gear, if you play in the game enough, those gear can fill up a lot of empty slots your other characters, your other jobs have, so it's like people start to understand that. I think a lot of people start to understand, a lot of people start to appreciate, a lot of people start to get the experience, which I think should be there in the first place. It came 4 years late. This bunch of people who moan that day one doesn't get it, but I think they are getting it, so it's definitely good to see.
Okay. You say it's not the best gear, but there is one piece of content that it is the best gear for.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
So this is why I ground out 2 different summoner sets. One I upgraded all the way just to see what it looks like and to have it. The other one I kept at 345, which is the item level sync for the unending coil of Bahamut.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
You get those. You get the materia slots. You get to be 1% leader.
Oh my Jesus Christ!
A lot of people don't think about all these things. They just look at the end and say, "Why bother? Why bother with this?" They don't dig deep enough. Which is why in the first place it makes me feel like this player either doesn't play the game or these people are casuals anyway. Why are you listening to these people? I don't get it. I just don't get it. I when I listen to all these people talking shit like that, I get really triggered because it just shows you that they don't. First thing first. Do they even care about the game, or are they just here to moan for the sake of moaning? I feel like it's the latter.
It's final moaning 14.
Final moaning. Oh my god.
There's a different Discord for that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I gotta change channels here. Let me add in my Twitch channel, final moaning channel, and you guys.
Can we get me later, man?
Can we get a clip from episode 69 of MogTalk real quick?
No, that's an awkward one. That was one of the most awkward ones I think I've done.
It's pretty bad.
Okay. Hold on. I'm going to ask a question. This is a Eureka question. We'll start just going through some of these real quick that are at least pointing towards this, and then we can go into the more PvE general conversation that I have here. So this is from Howard. Do you guys feel like Eureka is missing much in quality of life and things that they could do to make it better just in the quality of it? He's recommending he'd love to be able to queue into friends instances, for instance.
You mean those?
Yeah,
those are fine. Yeah, I think it's good to have those. Now, I actually feel that. I mean, we might drift a little bit from the question because I never fully understand the quality of life until he talks about like things like queue into friends. I think it's a good idea, but I hope like I was thinking like when I heard quality of life, I'm like, oh, how about flying out? No. The map is designed very well. I think the size is all right. The mobs, the space that you can, the little pocket of space you can get into to maneuver from point to point is tight, but I think it's okay because I think Eureka is a content that everybody had to be responsible. Now I even actually thought about Fates. I think level down, you lose a lot of XP, but let's face it, because of the Zergs, because of the train, because of the high level people going around, because with the raid mages, you're not gonna lose XP. Let's face it, you're not gonna lose XP unless you do really dumb shit, like somehow leveling, soloing at level 18 somehow, okay? Or because you are too high level and your general instance is not high enough. No one know where the fuck you are. In those situations, maybe you will actually die. But if you're smart enough, you almost will never die. Now, the Fates. We might backtrack a little bit. I think for the Fates, what they should do is that you can only rest an X amount of time, maybe 3 to 5 times. And if you fuck up 3 to 5 times, you auto get returned and you lose the 25% XP. I think that should be something that should be implemented. Number 1, it should stop XP train. Number 2, it should stop fucking leeches. And number 3, dude, some of the NM mechanics are actually fun. it became a Zerg fest. It's a shame because, when you are the first few people who actually spawn the NM and you actually attempt it, when there's not a lot of people daring to come over or slow, some of those NMs are actually fun,
Yo, anybody for numbers? Low-level numbers?
Yeah, like some of those. Like numbers were fun, I thought. Circuit was really great. Needhawk is a little bit underwhelming, but otherwise, it's all right. The Bomb King is actually not bad. Some of these NMs are actually fun. But I feel like at the end of the day, even for what is that, Pazuzu, right? He's also pretty not bad. But when you start seeing all these low-level people coming in, ruin the experience, just come in and zerg, it starts to become bad. And
nubs.
They don't. I feel like, with how Eureka is at the beginning, punish you for doing stupid shit, punish you for fighting wrong mob, punish you for running in the open too low level. I feel like suddenly the Fate is not punishing enough. I feel like you should be able to rest X amount of time. If you die, you think about it, otherwise get the fuck back to the crystal and you lose 25%. I think they should do that. They should do that. Otherwise, everything else in terms of quality of life in the instance, I think they should leave it what it is. If not, make it harder, but I like the idea, the PF idea.
I've been fortunate enough to not lose experience yet, but at least this thing has claws. At least there's a threat. I mean, these mobs will fucking mob you. If there was no recourse to releasing you, you'd be like, oh, whatever, I'll get killed, I'll release, and I'll come back. But because they added a little bit of danger, just a tiny little eyedropper full of poison, and put it in there, and like you might get set back 6 hours of progress. I think that made it a lot more exciting.
I wish, I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't know if this is just like my evilness inside me. I wish once you died, you couldn't rest. You're just dead, and you go straight back to wherever you spawn. You lose your XP, you're gone.
Or you can go back to your spawn, lost the XP, but if you can navigate to your body, maybe you gain back a little amount back. Yeah,
maybe.
But you have to do it without any gear on.
Yeah,
or things like that. Yeah, or things like that. I feel the fates are too forgiving, and that's the reason why the leeching, the training become a thing. I think the fate should have been adjusted a little bit. I don't care how, what I just said is a little bit of idea, but I think the fate.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the fates do have like the don't be a level 5 person around this level 13 mob mechanics. Like the bomb has the big burst. When the NA fate train is going crazy and they go and pull that, if all the lobies come in there, that big burst goes off, you can see 100 people die all at once. It's amazing.
It's I don't know, man. Like, how would you guys feel? How would you feel? Tell me what the reactions would be right now if you died, and it was actually something that was so like it, because you think of Palace of the Dead, that's punishing. You get it past level 50, it's just super punishing.
If you lost something on death and not on release, it wouldn't work in this game.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder about it. Like, you lose something on death every time, but then once you reach a certain level, like maybe 11, when the level downs became possible, you could use like a potion that would, for one time when you died, would remove the penalty.
And then you had a cooldown of it for like an hour or something.
No, you just have to go back to town to get it. So if you get raised to the field, just like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because now I don't have my shield.
I feel like death needs to be fearful.
Like, that would create the fear in you. And dying twice consecutively would suddenly be really bad. But right now it's just sort of like, oh, I died again. Just raise me again.
I mean, nobody would want to tank the fate mobs then. Nobody would want to be that guy. Because what your healer is like, oh, I'm rezzing somebody. Oh, wait, the tank died. Oh, wait, he was in the...
But isn't that why you play the tank? That is why you want to think of the responsibility
more. You'd respect them more.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's how I feel. I feel that when you die, okay, now they give 25% XP loss on death if you release or if you go back. It's a lot of XP. Let's face it, 25% is a lot. At any level, I can tell you 25% is a lot. How about just, because like I said, and like you guys said, just keep rezzing, no big deal. Just keep rezzing, no big deal, right? You have Red Mage, unlimited res, play smart. You will never lose XP. How about if you release, you just lose 10%, but every single death, you actually lose something. you rest the first time, you lose 5%. Second time, you lose 10%. Let people think more. Let the people think more about their actions. Should I go for that fate? I'm level 6. I'm starting to lose XP. Should I go for a level 13 fate? Maybe not. Let those people that wants to do it, can do it, supposed to be them doing it, let them handle it. I feel like it should be like that.
Oh, the thing is, there's also it's too easy to MPK in there. I don't know if this happens on the JP servers, but that T-Rex face comes up, somebody grabs a noodly boy, and you can just cleave everybody that's level synced and kill them.
Oh, you're right. I forgot all the Xenos in the world who come out there and just start killing people for fun.
Yeah. So that's why it wouldn't work in this game. But I think we're talking about quality of life adjustments. Let me open more than one lockbox at a time. Yep. Let me convert more than one crystal at a time. I had to convert 1,000 goddamn crystals. It took me hours.
Do you know one of the reasons? People ask me, why don't you just turn in your crystal for the second rally? Why don't you just turn in the crystal for third rally? You have more than enough to do 5 to 6. Why don't you turn in? I look at my camera and say, do you know that I can, but do you know that the moment I turn this in, I have to go back to Geralt and actually spam 0 for the next half an hour? There's a reason why I don't want to do it.
You literally have to go. Somebody said last night, if anybody needs me, I'd be jacking off in front of Geralt for the next hour. Because you just sit there in front of them and you're like, come on, break these crystals, break these crystals, break these crystals. You got to charge up your crystals with your bros,
Oh. Well, okay. I feel like that's going to be something that changes. It has to be.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It has
I don't know. I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can. There's an RNG mechanic behind it.
Yeah, because of the RNG mechanic. Yeah, I feel like okay. But you only get 2 to 5. The range is not huge enough to actually make you think that, especially the amount of crystals they give you. I don't think that it actually makes a difference to people that say, oh man, I opened 100. My average median crystal is only 3. It should have been 3.5 according to Matt. Some people got 4. Oh my God, I got 10 less. I wouldn't think that RNG factor actually plays big enough a part to make opening the crystal RNG fun or even exciting that, oh fuck, I got 10 more than my friend. I don't think so. So I mean, if you just look at the median, 3.5, right? If you would just flat out 1 crystal give 3, and you can trade 10,000 crystal at the same time for 30,000 small crystal, I think everybody, okay, maybe 1% of Reddit, since they fucking want anything anyway, but 99% of the player base will be like, yeah, sure, please do that. The RNG is so unnecessary on the crystals.
Okay. So screw RNG.
I mean, it's not exciting RNG.
Okay.
It's not exciting. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you have a penny slot, you can put a penny in, and maybe you get 1 penny back, or you get 2 pennies back. Are you excited for the slot machine?
Exactly.
Okay.
And it takes you 2 seconds to do it each time.
You get these occasional things like, oh, I got 4 5s in a row. Ooh.
That's nice.
Oh, I got 5 2s in a row. Oh.
Guess what? You need 20,000 of those things. Come on, hurry up.
So
it will probably average out at some point.
Yeah.
That many.
Okay. We have another question here I want to ask here before we get off Eureka. They were asking if you guys felt like some of the monsters maybe had too many mechanics. They were too difficult for the players that are out there playing it, unless if you have a good group. Or is it all just... No way? Well, we're talking the world first, Mr. Kyo here. So I guess there's that, right?
I mean, the mechanics just aren't anything we haven't seen before. Dodge the AoEs, look away from the boss, stand out of the cone AoE. The hardest part about it is the fact that there's so many people there that you stop seeing, like, the encounter culling goes off. Like, talk about quality of life. Culling, we need the S rank treatment for every notorious monster, hands down, and every ad that is spawned in it all needs the S rank treatment, because they disappear and then suddenly you're dead, and that's the worst feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't do that. But yeah.
If you can see the monster, it's not difficult.
The hardest mechanic is the vanishing boss. Where did it go?
Okay.
Some of the bosses dash to players, and it's just like, well, it's gone. I guess.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys feel like we went over Eureka kind of well enough here? Is there any other things that you want to say about Eureka?
I hope that it will carry on. I hope it will carry on.
How much
Because-
you want to know about Eureka, man? I've been in there for days.
Been in there for days. You have so many
Wow.
things to say about Eureka.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we can talk about or how we feel. I think they should. I think that they should. There's stuff that they can change, like some of those quality of life. But in terms of the mechanic, I hope that they can look at this and say, yo. I mean, when I read the patch notes, I didn't expect it to be like this. I just expect it to be like a Palace of the Dead thing, like I said earlier. I don't expect it to be like this. For them to actually have the balls to make the content like this, although, again, once you experience the whole thing after level 20, we can tell you that, although at the beginning it might seem very punishing, but at the end, it does seems to even out and the rewards. Dude, it's not even about the grind for the gear. It's about getting the level 20. Once you get there, you get so much crystal showered at you. You don't even think about, man, can I finish them? You don't even think about it. You can. It's just almost given. You get to level 20, you are almost guaranteed. Aside from the feathers, you're already guaranteed at least 4 to 5 relics. I will assume NA get even more relics because you guys are doing NMs with so much crystal. So it's like I hope they will keep up. But and also I can also see a lot of things gonna happen in the future if they have the balls to maintain the difficulty, the troublesome, the cumbersome stuff that is going on. Like right now, what we are only seeing is the very beginning. Leveling, how leveling is gonna be. It's gonna be tougher. We obviously gonna expect level up, level cap increase. It's gonna be more grind. And because this patch, all this equipment is only filler equipment. When they get to the patch where they become possibly the best, I think you can expect really crazy things. And I hope I will see those. I hope that they will follow up and put in those. Like right now, like Pazuzu, what the fuck? Pazuzu is a good example. Specific day, specific weather, kill specific mob. I think that is the most basic. A lot of people is like say, wow, this is awesome. This is probably the most basic. Square Enix probably have enough template to come with even more crazy. I can almost see in the near future, like you only get to see an NM maybe once a day in real life. Maybe
once every 24 hours.
Once every 24 hours, things like that. Condition even worse.
And you have to
talk
talk to a certain NPC and type in a say chat, your face stinks or something, and then he goes on to this whole little NPC quest line where he gets upset about the way he looks, and he just goes and interacts with different NPCs, and then eventually it turns into a monster, right?
Maybe. And also the elemental, a lot of people say that the elemental thing is kind of redundant. Yes, it is kind of a little bit redundant because it's straightforward. Now you either put 5 or you put 5 and you spin to the right thing, right? You are tank, put to defense, you are attack, go to attack. No variety, right? But think about it. Level goes up, monster goes up, more things that can come. This is just the beginning, I hope they will carry on.
Overcomplicate it, right? If you overcomplicate it, then
why not?
There's no point.
Well,
the elemental thing's like pointless right now. You can't overcomplicate it.
Really?
Yeah. You can't overcomplicate it right now. But when you get high level, when we get more magicite.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Eureka 2 Phodia. And that's the Fire Island. We're gonna go there. It'd be cool.
Probably.
What?
Like, what if the bosses change element in between? I know it's very straightforward, right? You just change the wheel. But what if
What if they have 2 elements?
I mean,
Yeah,
but ads right now. Some of the elements.
Yeah.
Add,
But those are basic, right? Those are very basic, right? What about the boss change element and you still don't change correctly? You somehow wipe people in the face. Sometimes it becomes harder. You get damage reflect, you die. You get HP absorbed, the boss absorbed the HP. The elemental wheel is interesting. I hope they will follow up, but like Balana says, maybe it can't be complicated, but I don't see why not.
It has potential.
They are already, if you are gonna, like, nobody playing 4 years of Final Fantasy 14 expect Eureka to be like this at the beginning, on the get-go, shock people. At level 1, people start thinking that this is crazy already. Like, why don't you step up? Why don't you follow that? It's optional anyway. If you don't want to do it because you think the reward is not worth it, then get the fuck out. But I think they have potential to make it even better. Make the Fate bosses even more crazy. Make the elemental wheel more demanding. I hope so.
Or at least more interesting. Literally, right now it's just set it to offense or set it to defense. Done.
Yeah. So it's only the beginning, right? You know.
Right
I'm
now,
hoping for the best.
a lot of people do complain about Final Fantasy 14 and how it doesn't have like you get geared and you get additions to your abilities, right? You get 3% extra on this, or your ability can now do this and this. Do you feel like that's something that could introduce to Eureka just because it's not the super serious content?
They already did it. There's an item.
There is?
Yep. They are called, I forgot what
Strider boots.
Strider boots increases sprint duration in city states.
Oh, come on.
It is an item.
Really
It is an item that affects one of your abilities.
So
we've never had one of those.
But in battle content,
I mean, this is the beginning.
Okay,
Like I said, this is the beginning. Why not? 1.0, they did it anyway. 1.0, you have relics. Your relics and your AF armor altered your cover, altered your spirits within damage, make your Steel Cyclone stun rate higher, make your Steel Cyclone absorb more HP. They have it. It's all there. The idea is all there. They just need to find a place to put it in. Like I want to go back to the elemental thingy. A lot of people keep saying, right, in the Final Fantasy, the elemental wheel, how you use correct magic on correct mobs, not do reduce damage or not let the mob heal, is part of a Final Fantasy thingy, right? Why 14 doesn't have it? The battle system they had these 4 years, they couldn't do it. Like, can you imagine Black Mage with 50 different fire 1 to 5, Blizzard 1 to 5, Thunder 1 to 5, Arrow 1 to 5, Stone 1 to 5. You can't have that. So sadly, This game is created like that. But the elemental wheel have the potential now to do that. Rather than just say use specific element, now you actually use the wheel. I think they can do that. Weapon, skill altering abilities, equipment. I think they can do that. This is if they want to do it, I think this is the place they do it.
Okay.
Because shows they have the technology with the starter boots.
The technology's of course there, right? It'd be really difficult to think the technology couldn't be there.
You never know. You never know with Square Enix.
All right. Well, I mean, this could be testing grounds for what they introduce into PvE as well, right? And so if they want to introduce a new system and they're like, hey, maybe in 5.0, we want to create these new systems. It works successfully here in Eureka. Let's throw it in here. Maybe that's it, right? Eureka, I have an idea. Let's throw it into this content and see if it pushes out.
What if 5.0? Okay, just randomly saying, right? Obviously, right now, if you think about it, it's probably not going to work. But what if 5.0 at the get-go, you are going to progress your character the way Eureka is from the start of 5.0? Of course, right now, it's impossible right now because Eureka is a controlled environment, 144 people. Of course, we will go to a new expansion in the new map, 2,000 people in an instance. Obviously, this Eureka system wouldn't work. But I'm just saying, some of these things, if they dare to put it in the next expansion, right?
They have it already. They're called fates.
like right now in normal mode, in normal open world, it just doesn't matter. And also flying mount, like those are the things that destroy open world in Final Fantasy.
I am avidly against flying mounts, to be honest with you.
Yep,
I have been
flying mount
forever.
is bad.
It's wow, I'm flying. This is cool, but it really kills the environment, man.
It kills the environment. It wastes development on the map. Those poor mobs were sitting down there. They were there for a reason to kill you. But right now, there's probably one mob probably is not killed since Storm's Blood until now. It's still there, I think.
There's still a mob that's never been touched or killed before because it's just out of the way and unnecessary. Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the map size here with Eureka? I was thinking about this. Is this good? Is it a good map size? Too small?
That map size is 10 out of 10. Map size, this map size doesn't need flying. This map size doesn't need faster mount. I would say at level 17, that mount kind of breaks the game a little bit and kind of breaks Eureka a little bit already. I wish there is no mount. I wish there was no mount.
I thought the mount wouldn't be until 20 because it kills the content basically.
Same. I thought it would be 20. Yeah. I don't expect it to be 17. I thought it was too quick already.
Just the fear is mostly gone when you have a mount. And you can use a 2-seater mount. You can't run everything. So
okay. So Square Enix should change that now, right? Just make it level 20.
Too late.
Come on now.
I mean, the next Eureka,
Do you guys think they're just going to build off this Eureka, or are they going to make another one and they're just going to have...
There's another one, right?
And then they're going to do 4 different zones in this expansion. I want to
Yeah.
say 4
And
or
you're going to
5.
carry the same stats that you have, though, right? And go into the next
Oh
one?
yeah, they'll increase the
Yeah,
level
yeah.
cap. The next one will be 20 to 40, and it'll be either the fire, earth, or air area.
I mean, there's 4 different bosses, right, that we know of.
Yeah.
So the Vile 4. We've got the first one. We've got 3 more to go.
Where that mythic quest lore at though?
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. So here's a good question about Eureka. What's your worst Eureka experience?
We were doing the level 13 quest, where most of the zone is like level 5. And you need to go for this quest. You need to go up into the middle of nowhere and grab this little item on the ground. So we had one person going and do it, and they died. So we sent somebody else after them, and they died. So I went then after them, and I died. So we had 3 people lying on the ground, surrounded by like level 18, 19 mobs. And we had one person left in the party who was crazy enough to go up there and Metal Gear Solid around all the mobs and get to us and res us. It was tight. I had like 4 minutes left on my release, and I was starting to sweat some buckets. That's about, and also that was about as bad as it got. And then outside that was day 1 where we ground leshies for 3 hours straight. Don't do that.
Don't crown leshies. Okay.
I didn't have as bad of experience with the level 13 quest, but the grinding was definitely the worst. There reaches a point where you're just like, this is awful. Grinding and grinding and grinding the same mob for like an hour. It's just, why are we doing this?
Okay.
But it got better. It got better at, whatever level, right, Balana?
It gets better. It gets better at your level +2.
Exactly.
Okay. Arthas,
Ongoing.
I don't really have any bad experience. If anything, I actually want to wake up and log in and play the fucking game. I never had this experience of wanting to log in and play Final Fantasy 14.
You didn't have any
much.
bad Reddit experiences or anything? Anyone coming in from Twitch saying stuff to you? Nothing like that?
I mean, they mostly. Everybody keeps coming and ask how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? I just tell them it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, obviously, I am just there for the experience. At some point, I don't even think about the equipment anymore. I just want to go in and play. I never even thought that I want to do it on my own. Now I'm actually doing it on my own. I don't know, man. Like those bad experiences that you guys mentioned, for me, are actually the things that I actually I actually look forward to experience. I want that feel,
Do
You
you
say
have hold up your wrist. Hold up your wrist real quick, Arthas.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to think one right now.
I'm trying to see
What
if
was the
you
worst experience?
you have some sort of masochistic
holy
tendencies
shit!
here.
Here we go. My worst experience is that I try to understand why the NA do the NA train. So my alt was level 4. I run to Fafnir. I got my main to simultaneously log in. I use my alt to sit on the back. I Metal Gear Solid because my alt will still get one shot, right? If she aggro, right? So I Metal Gear Solid all the way. I'm like, dude, this has to be fucking worth it because the NAs are doing it. So I got into a group, level 4. I do Fafnir. I get 381 XP. Gold medal, 381 XP. That was where I was like, why the fuck are you people? So you telling me that these people who I always see at the side when I'm doing level 10 plus Fate, they are level 5, level 6. They are getting 300 and they're okay with it.
They're here for the free chicken.
Yeah, that was my worst experience. Running my alt, so scared of that. My waifu back there,
You don't like Metal Gear Solid?
I'm gonna bring you. I like it, but when I got there, I noticed that at the end of the rainbow, it was just cornflakes and not a pot of gold. I'm like, fuck this shit, man. I cannot understand at that point why NAs would do that. Why when I do Pazuzu, why do I say Paru? When I saw Pazuzu earlier, I saw a level 6 guy. I was like, why the fuck are you doing here? I didn't know, right? Once I do that level 4 versus Fafnir Fate, I'm like, what the fuck is that guy doing there? You go and kill 4 mobs, you probably get more XP than all the way running. I don't get it. I just don't get it. That is my worst experience. I think I wasted so much time there. Yet, it is supposedly the way that the NAs are doing right now. That's the most triggering thing for me. I didn't get it. I just don't get it.
So worst experience for Arthas is being NA. All right.
Trying out the NA.
Trying out the NA
okay.
experience. That's my worst.
There you go.
We have Goka, by the way, sending questions in, but they're just statements. I don't think Goka knows how a question works. So, come on, dude. He said that your ideas suck, Arthas. He's trying to heckle you a little bit. And he also said that he gets better at level 15. Balana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's when the other zone comes up and you grind mobs in there and you get 1,000 XP from each. Just get up there. It picks up. Yeah.
Can we?
Yeah.
Can we just take a moment though to appreciate all the wonderful moments that happen in Eureka that we don't normally get in this game? Like, let me tell you a little story. Like, day one, our group was grinding. They call I think Bandersnatches, the tigers that cast fire too.
Leopard.
The leopards. Balana
leopards?
probably knows the story I'm about to tell.
Okay.
So we're sitting there and we're grinding out these leopards just over and over and over and over again. And this other group comes up near us and they're just sitting there watching us for a bit. And we're looking over at them, and we made some jokes about, because they cast fire too. We can interrupt it with a stun. Sometimes we don't do it. We do, and we were just joking like, man, if one of those fire twos went off and hit them, it would kill all of them. And we were joking like, maybe we're gonna run over there and do it. No, we're not going to. That'd be really BM. Don't do that. And then one of them, I guess, started helping with the leopard, and it turned around toward them and started casting fire too, and finished the cast. It threw over there, and they all died. Every single one of them just fell over and died, and we just, we raised them all, and they're all okay. But it was the funniest thing in the heat of the moment. We all just laughed. It's just not intended.
not intended to just kill them and destroy them all.
They never think about it,
Yeah.
Time to start thinking,
There's other times too. It's like you're sitting there, your group will be fighting a mob, and someone will run over and like throw a regen at you, and then run away. And a few seconds later, the mob just takes off running after them because he needs to do a TP move on that person that casts the regen, and he just leaves. Group's like, hello? The bosses will do it too. Bosses will just run out of the room chasing somebody because they need to do a move on that one person over there. It's just great. It's the AI. Even Pazuzu does it, right? He has this one move where he turns around and puts like a ground AoE. Sometimes he'll just book it across the room, and it's just, I don't know. Stuff like that is just funny to me. Or when the boss turns around to do an untelegraphed AoE and nobody reacts to it. And then they just like everyone dies.
Yeah, just seeing like a cloud of dead bodies is.
The weirdest sound I've ever heard is there's a Cyclops mob and they use Glower, which is that they do a big beam that paralyzes people. The sound it makes when it hits 50 people at once is weird. Or when 100 people all die at once and you have voices on, how you have like every voice option has a unique death sound, and 100 of those all play at once. It's like when Alderaan got blown up and you hear 1,000 people cry out in pain all at once and are suddenly silenced.
I would love to actually get a recording of that, Balana.
The emergent gameplay, just from like having a bunch of people around and crazy mobs that can kill you, has been, I don't know if it was sleep deprivation, but there were so many times that we would just laugh for like 5 minutes straight and barely be able to function.
So
the zoos, man. The zoo mobs is another one of the funny experiences.
Oh my god!
Dude, you fight the zoos, they do this thing where they randomly dive bomb somebody in your group. Run over and slam them. And it's like we had this time when we had like level 14 in our group at the time. It just every single time.
Some of this goes as early as the bear as well. The fucking bear swipes. Those ads just swipe everybody. When you see him cast a savage, you are like, oh, you know those bunch of people in front of the swipe, they're all gonna die. Those are great. Those are great.
I was not expecting to have when I decided to make this show like on Wednesday or so, and this was going to be a focus of it. I was not expecting to have people laughing about wonderful experiences they had in Eureka.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good, dude. It's something we miss.
7 out of 10.
It's part of what makes it fun. It's kind of funny, right? Because it's the community aspect of it made it fun. I mean, the mechanics are definitely, the mechanics enable it, but
yeah,
it's great. These community experiences are what make the content memorable. Like those things are memorable.
Yeah, I think I have more I think I remember more of this incident than I remember the last 4 years. I can't have, I don't really have a distinct experience the last 4 years that I can think of, except for, say, clearing a raid. Other than that, I don't have this type of things that happens that random people and then have all these funny moments that they mentioned, that's why I just like it so much. I don't know, man. How to explain? Something was missing, and this definitely makes me reminds me of something.
So do you
That
guys
was
definitely
missing.
think that this content has positively influenced the PvE community, or at least the PvE content this game offers?
It's a
I mean,
different
for me at
experience.
least.
Yeah.
Mm.
It gave you something different, because I mean, we could just be doing our 24 man, right? You guys have fun doing 24 mans every time they release it?
I really can't see. Oh my god, I don't think I can ever do dungeons anymore after this. Seriously, I
Really?
don't know how I can go back to that. It's just maybe for now, maybe for now because I'm still in it. Maybe a few weeks later, once reality hits, or maybe 1 month later, like you say earlier in the show, when people start doing it, that feeling fades off back to the actual Final Fantasy 14. Maybe I will have to do it, but at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
hard man. It's hard, man. It's hard to go back and do expert dungeon, man. I feel, or
Okay.
24 man.
Because
I mean, what
content's
what
been
all
pretty
makes it
redundant.
useful?
It's just the same method, the same kind of style, the same everything. Doing another 4-man that you could brainlessly go through. Doing another 24 man that you can brainlessly go through, but some people have less than a brain, I guess. Sometimes in 24 minutes, I don't. It's kind of.
Yikes.
So I had
was
the
rough.
opposite. I had the opposite reaction though. Like Eureka was so different from the 24 mans because 24 mans, like the first time you do it, it's interesting and exciting. It's like, oh, this is new. Oh, this is new. Oh, this is new, and it was great. And then every other time after that, it's just boring and awful. And I'm just doing it to get my weekly reward. That's it. It's the only reason I'm here. But
Mhm.
Eureka was the opposite. Really didn't like it at first, and then it got better and better and better the more we did. And I think it sort of changed my mind about new content in 14 because everything they've produced outside of raids has been the same formula as the 24
Mhm.
mans. Exciting for maybe the first 24 hours, and then it's like I
Yeah,
don't
it
want
has
to
a
do
great
that.
presentation. You look at the videos and you're like, oh, that boss looks really cool. Oh, the dungeon looks cool. The environment looks cool. But after you do it that one time and you go in for a second and third, it just starts wearing on you and you're just tired of it. It's just nothing.
I don't know if it actually got better the more we did it, or we all just developed Stockholm syndrome all at once.
Nah, man, it was fun. We were laughing, like
We were.
legit laughing in the middle of it. So
I hadn't slept, so I was laughing a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that. So we're positive. We're going into a positive direction here. With PvE with Final Fantasy 14, from my own experience right now, I'm gonna be honest. I needed a break. I needed to rest some, because it just, when I think about Final Fantasy 14, I think about it as not this wonderful, crazy, amazing game. I think of it as a center, a place to go, a place to be, a place to see other people and do some stuff, mess around. For example, last night I played Tabletop Simulator with some stupid card game that maybe it's not as stupid. I don't know. Do you guys play a lot of board games or card games or anything like that?
I play D&D. That
Okay.
counts.
No. All right. I forget what it's called. It's some bar game. It's like something at the Red Dragon Inn or something. It's basically a card game where you're seeing who passes out first from drinking. It was interesting, but it wasn't like that crazy, right? I just wanted something to do, and that's what I think Final Fantasy 14 really is, to me at least right now, right? It's just a place to go. Other games I can go and experience have a lot more fun playing by myself, but I don't have other people there, and I'm not doing stuff with other people. I'm not going out and hanging out with my friends. That's kind of what I see this game as at the moment. I mean, I don't know if you guys can. Somebody recognized it. What do you guys feel about Final Fantasy 14? What is this game right now to you guys? Is it this amazing, crazy game, or is it?
I mean, it's theme park MMO. You have different attractions. They just added a new ride. It's not like any of the other rides we had. It's not a roller coaster. It's not a tilt or hurl. It's something where you go, you stab yourself in the chest 50 times. It's a new carnival ride. It's awesome.
Okay.
Maybe not that bad. I mean, when we first got in there, that's what it was. We all had to delude ourselves to keep going when we didn't know what we were doing. But it's a theme park, and theme park's always more fun when you go with your friends.
Yeah. Yeah. You go to the fair and you go by yourself. It's really cringy and awkward, and you're like, man,
Go ride the Ferris wheel by yourself.
yeah, you don't feel too happy, do you?
No.
So I mean, it's weird because I feel like a lot of people were expecting some crazy, unique, special, inventive, super game that they were gonna play, and I don't think you can really have that experience with MMOs. Can you?
with how the genre is now, with how risk adverse people are becoming, companies are becoming, if it's not a proven method, if it hasn't been done 1,000 times before, nobody's going to dump in the millions of dollars it takes to create an MMO to do it. That's why everything for the past 10 years or whatever have been WoW clones, because that's what they think is going to work. And that's why the genre is dying and people are moving over to like Overwatch and League of Lizards and all that stuff.
League of Lizards?
Yeah.
Why is it called League of Lizards?
Because Renekton's in there.
Renekton?
He's a crocodile.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm really out of touch with LOL. I'm sorry.
No, I call things weird names sometimes.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So for me, like I played Monster Hunter. That was like my big thing recently. And that's fun, right? That's super addicting. But you know, I hit this point to where I'm like, okay, well, I've had my fun now. I can go out and play something else. Yeah. And it's just what it is. I think with if I played WoW, I wouldn't be as happy because I just didn't know people the same way that I know people here, and that's where I'm at with this game.
Yeah. I think for me the game is the only MMO out there. I grew up. I mean, not grew up. I go into playing MMO the last 20 years already. You know, I mean, in between play some FPS, etc. But MMO is the game that you sit down, you spend X amount of effort, you know that it pays off because the progress is usually there. Your character is still there. It's not like you buy $60, finish a console game like Monster Hunter, you finish it like Frosty say after the fun goes down, it's gone. You know, for me, MMO is because disregard whether the game is fun or not. I mean, 14 is not that fun for the past 4 years. I'm not saying that Eureka changes it, but it adds one more thing to it. You know, I'm seeing a lot of people in chat. It's like saying that, oh, it's so stupid. Oh, if I want, if I want to grind mobs, I do that in 1998. I'm not going to do it today. Then you probably have nothing else to do in the game. Then, you know, the thing that this content adds in is to add into something that for me, I want to do it that brings over something for me to do. I like to play MMO. Whether it's Final Fantasy 14 or whether is it Ion, whether is it Final Fantasy 11, I just want to log in every day, have something to do.
Are we addicts?
What?
Are we addicts, guys?
No.
Are we addicted? Are we like at this point to like we're just like I love it. I just have to have it. It doesn't matter if it's shit. No. I just want it, right?
No. I mean, there's a rhyme behind, or there's a rhyme behind the reason behind the rhyme, whatever the fuck the phrase goes. Like. I play online games and MMOs and specifically to struggle through challenges with my friends. That's the whole reason I do it, because we're gamers, but at the same time, playing just single player is not as satisfying as playing with your.
Yep.
But when you play, there's a lot of games you play with your friends where it's hard to connect with the person. You know, like for example, Minecraft would be a good example of someone where you can connect with someone, you can build something together, but ultimately they kind of do their own thing, and you end up just talking about what they did. And you can have a community around Minecraft and it's successful, but it doesn't feel like as much of a collective struggle. That's why I sort of gravitated away and towards games like MMOs where we struggle together. And one of the things I really liked about 11 was there's a community struggle, because you couldn't get anything done on your own, and you can get stuff done on your own in 14. But when it comes to like raiding, for example, you can't. That's why I'm so drawn towards raids, is I need all of us to work together and support each other and accomplish and beat this difficult content. And sure, some of it's not as difficult these days, like the Savage raids are getting easier and easier, but the struggle remains. And in Eureka, we get a little bit of that too. You know, you get a little bit of we work together to beat the content more efficiently together. And you know, someone dies out in the middle of nowhere and you go on a rescue mission for them. It builds community. All of it builds community. Like sharing information about what's the more efficient ways to do this builds community. You know, when we figured out how to pop Pazuzu, the first thing I did was I went to Reddit and posted, here's how you do, here's everything we know about how we spawn Pazuzu when we spawned it the first time. And it was just a very positive response to that. I felt really good about working with everyone. And you don't get that from other games. I don't feel like maybe I'm addicted to the community.
Yeah.
There you go. But 14 itself is nothing special. It's the community that's.
Yeah. 14 itself is, you just go through the motion. Like, I only play before this content. I only play 2-3 days a day. Like, don't get me wrong though. I like to play MMO though. I like to play games in general. It's just that because you play games, there has to be one genre that you like the most. Some people like FPS. Some people play FPS every day. It's not because you're addicting. It's because that's where your fun is, right? For me, it's MMO, and sadly, there's just not another one better. Final Fantasy is the only one. Like, dude, I'm fucking 69 years old. If I'm 20, 30 years younger,
good year, man.
Yeah. Like if I'm 30 years younger or even 40 years younger when I used to play Counter-Strike before they, when they were in the beta, when I was playing competitive, I would. But at my age, when I play, say, PUBG, when I play, say, Overwatch with younger people in my Discord, proper FPS player, you just see that you lost it, your brain and your finger there's a slight delay, there's a lag in there, you are just not that good anymore. And for me as a player that I like to, growing up playing games, I like to play games, there is this specific type of game that suit my age, can still fulfill, like Kionu says, some of the experience, some of the struggles that you can experience, but at the same time that I can handle. Because I don't want to be, I'm not going to be a shit player. Even if I'm 60, even if I'm 70, if I still play the next Final Fantasy 26, I don't care. I still don't want to be a shit player. I still want to be good.
Do the best you can do. All right.
Yeah, exactly. But sadly for me, MMO is the one that closest for me to think that I can still keep up at not maximum, but high level, Like, I always make fun of people. Dude, I'm probably the oldest guy in the Final Fantasy 14 community. And yet I see all these people.
I don't know. I don't know if you're the oldest person in the Final Fantasy 14 community. All right, are you, let's say 40s. You in 40s?
Very close.
Okay.
Are there 40s? I mean, streamers, etc.
I don't know.
No, I'm
in the same decade as you.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, it's same decade. Yeah.
Same decade.
But in terms of oldest, right?
Okay.
I'm probably the oldest. I think so. Probably the oldest.
Pretty sure I'm older than you.
Every single time I look at people make mistakes, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, I always, like when Kionu invite me to this fun help some of the people that never had like static clear, or they have, I don't know. So basically when Kionu get me into this group, I'm always like, shit, this is going to be bad. First thing first, I'm going to be tired. 5 a.m. Second thing, I have lag. I haven't experienced warrior, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be bad. No offense, but whenever I see some of them make mistakes, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? These people should be reacting faster than me. Like, sometimes I make a joke. Sometimes like when like Kionu makes a mistake, I like, you telling me that's world first? Are you serious right now? This is world first standard. World first find these type of players to. I thought I'm supposed to be the guy that let's help Arthars. Now I'm like sitting here like, am I helping these 20-year-old kids trying to get good at the game? Just kidding, right? Things like that I say on stream. Like, oh, man. Like, you know what I mean? This is like, for me, playing an MMO at least still makes me feel in touch. Because if I were to play FPS, no matter how good I was, that type of game just doesn't work for me anymore. Just, you can't. Like, it's like sports. It's like that you reach a certain age, you just not there anymore. In terms of focus, in terms of reaction, it's just not there anymore. But for MMO, for me, it is. And Final Fantasy, back to the topic, Final Fantasy 14, sadly, is the only one right now. If there's another MMO out there, if Final Fantasy 11 is the release out there, I know that maybe only 1,000 people would play, I would play. But 14 is the best we can get right now, so.
I don't know. Like, I feel like people are just overthinking the whole, we need this crazy new special inventive, like they're almost expecting Final Fantasy 14 to be out there and be the best game. And I don't think it's even remotely possible.
No way.
Unless
like Balana says, someone dare to step out and do something different.
You would need someone backing it like Bill Gates, right?
Exactly.
And Bill Gates would have to say, I just have money and I just want to make a really good game. I don't care there's a big risk if it's going to work or not.
Like if you're talking about Super Nintendo system or Nintendo system or even, Sega, blah, 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 right? All those games, they can try something new because it's probably not that expensive to make back then. Nowadays, you're looking at the amount of graphics you have to do, all the motion graphics that you have to do, all the planning you have to do, MMO especially. It's a super long project, right? Nowadays, you have your mobile community, especially. I mean, mobile games are the future. Let's not kid ourselves here. At the end of the day, mobile games, microtransaction is already a thing. It will be the thing. MMOs,
I guess, maybe.
Dude, for MMO today, it's not easy for developer, man. Who wants to take the risk? Who wants to do that? Who wants to be that guy?
I mean, I was hoping we might get some innovation through like Kickstarter and crowdfunding and thing like that, but most of those games still haven't come out because MMOs take a long
Star
time
Citizen,
to make.
right? Look, that game looks
Star
like
Citizen.
It'd be so great.
Yeah, I'm still on the Camelot Unchained hype train. I mean, that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I'm not trying to tell people just to sit back and just accept, whatever they give us. Whatever the Square Enix team decides, okay, well, we're just going to give you this, right? And you're just going to have to deal with it. But I also think that we shouldn't try to put it up to such a high standard of where this game has to be the most pleasurable thing that we've ever done, because it's really the people we play with. It's not always the game itself. It's just that this is a Final Fantasy game. Man, I love Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy, the universe is the world. Oh, I'm addicted to this nostalgia, everything else. And you get in there, and that's where you are. But I feel like we've hit this conversation like with a bat, and this conversation's like 20 dead horses, and we're just taking turns. We're going back and forth and hitting all of them. So I'll hold off on that for a bit. We've
been saying for years though that there's problems with this game. There's problems with this game, and there's inherent flaws they need fixing, and that it ultimately hasn't changed the formula. So we're still dealing with that. We're still looking at other games, seeing if there's something better. But I mean, it's kept us. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, it has. If you go into the world of PvP, you're probably a pissed off person if you really love PvP. But,
well, PvP is in the worst state I think it's been in a long time. But that's
sad. That's a completely different show.
But Ultimate being introduced and giving us double the amount of raids per every 6-month period, at least for our community, for those of us that are here, was a huge boon, and I'm really happy about that, at least. So, I mean, we talk about improvements. Ultimate is huge. If that keeps being a trend, I mean, we don't really have promises at this point, right, that we're getting more Ultimates aside from the one coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we know we're getting 4.3 Ultimate.
We can assume we are because it's been successful. And so, I mean, this is a good segue into going into in-game rating right now as PvE content, just because Ultimate has been a great effect on the game, but it has this weird effect on everything else that exists, like Savage and Kionu, you know this way better. Balana, Arthars, you guys know this better than I do. But when we're talking about in-game rating, are we happy with where in-game rating is at right now?
I wish they would have stuck with what they had originally said about the Omega raids. They were like, oh, with Alexander, we kind of messed up. We made it too hard at first, so we scaled it down over time. But for this next one, guys, what we want to do is make it start easy and then scale up. But instead of what they did with Sigmascape is they're like, okay, well, we have Ultimate now for these Spurglords who want to go really hard and do the hard stuff. And the first part of Omega was really good, so they just made it the same kind of difficulty on Sigma.
And it hits me the most, Balana, because I asked Yoshida that directly, and he said to me directly that that's what he wanted to do, was to scale up.
Yeah, Ultimate kind of spoken that.
But he isn't lying though. Sigmascape is a little bit.
That's debatable. It shouldn't be debatable.
No, it's definitely harder.
But it's definitely harder. Like if you 100%. if you want me to compare two things, it can't be equal. One has to be better, one has to be worse. It's just the margin is so small, but he's not lying. Sigmascape is indeed harder, right? But the margin is so small. Now you are worried. Now everybody start to worry. What is the last one going to be? Oh, it's going to be harder, obviously. It's going to be a little bit harder. It's probably probably
Do you need to get a
at this
microscope
point,
out
right?
to find out how much harder it is? I mean, that's
Maybe I would say Sigmascape and Deltascape. You probably need a microscope. The difference is so small, right?
Keo
Now the
seems
last
to disagree a little bit here.
We are comparing. Well, our only basis for comparison is Alexander.
one,
And we did
Okay.
not get a Midas. We did not.
No.
hit.
not.
Like
I
this-
don't even think we will in the last one. If I don't even think the last one is gonna be wait, how long? How long did world first take to clear? I mean, for me, usually I judge difficulty. I judge by timing.
For which tier?
How long
Creator?
for creator? How long did world first take?
Happened day 2.
It was
Day two.
pretty
What
quick.
about Sigmascape?
Sigmascape was day 1. It was
yeah,
like
that
17
was
hours.
yeah,
or something.
16, 17 hours.
Okay, so I would expect, say, the last Savage to take 20 hours. It's harder, but it's still going to be easier than Creator. That's how I feel. And
All you
that's
need
how
is one
Yoshida
server
played the
down,
mod.
and then there you go, 20
feel.
hours. Come on, I don't know. I feel when I was measuring it, it's pretty much right on par with Sigmascape and Deltascape. They're pretty much right there with World First.
Yeah,
Uh,
same.
yeah, they're right there, and it's strange to me to think that I don't. So I'll say it right now. Of course, the first fight was much more difficult. All right, it had more to it. I feel like if you're comparing 01S to 05S, completely different. But everything else, from what I've seen now, from my experiences when people tell me this, everything else, it's really not that much different. And some people even said it was a little bit easier, but then some people are saying it's a little bit harder. So I feel like it's
Because of how Turn 2 is. I think Turn 2 made a lot of people felt the overall experience. Because Turn 3 and Turn 1 and Turn 2 is usually introduction fight or stupid. I mean, who knows, right? Who knows Yoshida actually didn't lie for once. You know, a few years ago, he actually said that, we want to make Turn 1 and Turn 2 like primal types where everybody can get in, and then Turn 3 and Turn 4 will be the savage difficulty. I was like, what? We only got 4 fights only. I mean, you're kidding, right? Alexander is like that, right? You're kidding, right? You're going to make Storm's Blood like that. I thought he was kidding. He wasn't kidding. The Turn 1 and Turn 2 has been a joke. Turn 3 and Turn 4 is actually where Turn 1 and Turn 2 is like, it's almost like they're experimenting something. Also, it's almost like they draw you in. And then Turn 3 and Turn 4 disregard whether it's got Kefka, New X there, whether it's that, whatever that thing is in O3S. I don't even remember the name, it's so long. And then your Guardian, disregard how they look like. They are just a savage fight. The feel.
you don't
going
remember
into the fight.
O3S?
I don't know. I don't remember her name. His name? I like the kiss ass. Wait, what?
Halicarnassus.
Okay. So I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. But what triggers me the most is that they dare to slap the freaking word savage onto Sigmascape. How did we go from Koi to savage? Even I can argue Gordius savage. Gordius is pretty savage. Let's face it. I mean, but DPS check is just stupid. It's just gear, blah, 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 right? But it felt savage. How did we go from that to now? This is not even Koi difficulty, right? Koi was supposed to be normal story mode, but it was proven too hard for people. Okay, I get it. So now you have a story mode. You need to come up with a title. You slap the word savage on your normal rate, which is supposed to be your Koi type of difficulty. I get it. Why can't you just call this normal? You put a story, you slap a story mode, you bracket hard on it. I don't care. And then your actual ultimate called savage. Then you don't have first thing first, you don't have confusing naming or difficulty descripting, using misleading words. Secondly, you don't have to come out and explain to people, or people wouldn't feel like, why is our savage getting worse? Because now ultimate is here. Now ultimate actually felt like savage. So what is going to happen in 5.0? Ultimate is going to become like savage difficulty. Savage is going to be story mode. Story mode is going to be what? Brain dead mode? I don't know. Then now I have to come up with a new word called apocalypse mode or something. I don't know.
I feel like
That is the
Ultimate
one thing
was
that triggers me the most. Using the word, using is misleading, and that reduces our expectation.
You say Savage
for me.
is easy content, but it's like 1% of the active player base.
I would like to see how many people are
No,
trying to
definitely
clear it
more.
versus how many
More
people have
JP
cleared it.
than A.
Because I mean,
Oh,
like
okay.
when we compare how many people cleared it, we don't know how many people are actually trying to clear it, do we?
I mean, yeah, I
you
agree.
look, you can look at turn 3. You can assume that everyone that did turn 1 maybe tried to do turn 2. You can assume everyone that did turn 2 is trying to do turn 3, and you can kind of compare those numbers, I think. But when you start comparing numbers where this is the total population we have versus how many people is cleared at the end, that doesn't correlate to me, because there's so many people who are just out there, wondering what the next Fashion Week thing is going to be, and that's their entire game. They don't care about anything else.
And they say there's nothing to do. They say that reward is not contributing enough. Oh my god, the reward is not contributing enough. That's why I don't want to do Savage. Savage is so stupid. It's so easy. World first take 1 day to clear. I don't even want to try it. These are the people that's complaining.
Back on the Reddit train, Arthars, are we?
Yeah, these are the people that's complaining, right? They don't even try,
Keo, you look like you have something on your mind, man.
I disagree. I think that the perspective that the content is too easy is definitely a huge minority. And we suffered in Gordius and Midas in particular. We suffered from a huge lack of what I call like mid-core content. But it's really just like end game content that's not mega ultra difficult, because Gordius and Midas were largely impossible for a very large section of the population. Like they could do maybe the first 2 floors, but the 3rd floor was just out of the question for Gordius and Midas. Maybe for Midas it was more the 2nd floor that was the difficult one.
I can give you my personal experience if you want. I mean, you guys would consider me a casual player, right?
Sure.
So I'm playing Midas, and our biggest struggle at the very end was 7. Right? We struggled on that. We had a hard time with it.
Because you're a fucking paladin. That's why.
I was scholar on 7, man.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
No joke.
Paladin was actually good in 7. Hold on. That was like the only Midas fight where it was actually really good.
Really?
So my group in general, we struggled. We had a hard time with 7. And then we never got a chance to really go in and clear 8. Same thing happened with Gordius, where we went in and it took us a while, but we cleared 3, and then we never really went back in and cleared 4. I don't know if that's an issue, though, seeing at the time that was the difficult content. I wasn't a great player. I wasn't the best player in the world, so if I can't clear it, or not the best player, I'm sorry, that's a horrible comparison. I wasn't like I would just say I'm not a great player. I wasn't top, like I had all my gear in the right spots, the right types, everything else. Maybe I shouldn't be able to clear that last fight. That's fine with me. I still have a challenge ahead. I have something to strive for. I have something to do. But now we're hitting it to where we're increasing this population to where people just don't have things to strive for after they clear it. There's no like, I can get better. You just get to this one point and you're like, well, I'm done. I mean, I could go try to get 1% on FF logs, right? And then boast about it, but that's it.
The thing is, Midas was good in that way, and I agree with your perspective. The problem was that there's this large gap here where there was a primal difficulty, and then there was a raid, and there was this huge in between where you had to really get good to be able to tackle the raid. And there was a severe lack of what I'd call, like I said, mid-core content. And then Creator came along. And Creator was mid-core content. We didn't have a difficult raid because Creator was so easy. Like, just, I'll agree, and I think most people agree, that just Creator was like a good intro to endgame Final Fantasy XIV. You could you got to your max level, you got your basic crafted gear or your normal mode farm, you jump into Creator, and you could have success because the fights were not terribly difficult, and so they were more of what ended up defining Savage. But then we didn't have anything for the more difficult players. So that's sort of what we've settled into, and now we have mid-core content. The Savage raids are our mid-core content, and it's good to have mid-core content. It's healthy. It's how you breed raiding populations, how you get people interested in actually trying hard at this game, is you make that mid-level stuff that people can get into and not feel like it's impossible. And yet we still have our ultimates, which are so unreachable for so many people still.
Yeah.
It's a very, very small percentage of people. But we ended up getting like this niche carved out for us on Twitch through the streams. Like Ultimate was this phenom when it came out, where everybody's watching it. So it still has this value, but it's our hardcore content now. We're still getting the same amount. We're still getting one raid every 6 months. It's just that now we're guaranteed to get something challenging every 6 months. That even the end game raiders are like, man, this is hard. And then also get content that the average player can do, the Savage raid. without it being too hard.
Do you feel like that one ultimate every 6 months is good enough to satisfy like the players that push themselves as difficult as the people who clear ultimate? Like, how do we keep these people playing the game after they clear ultimate?
If that was all we had, no, it wouldn't be satisfying. But we have to farm Savage in between. We have to get the gear up for ultimate. So the prep for ultimate becomes why we keep coming back.
More important. Yeah.
So now every 3 months we have stuff to do. Instead of just 6 months, we get the raid tier, we cap gear, AFK for 4 months. There's nothing to do. Now we have something to do in between.
And to add on to what Kionu says, something in between. Now that, I mean, going back a little bit, now that Eureka's weapon and armor is still an unknown, how strong is that going to be? And like Balana said, highlight earlier, they sneakily put in a 3-4-5. It's fucking brilliant. They locked the lockout. I mean, you couldn't clear it now. It doesn't matter. It will still be here. It will still be relevant. I mean, the first place, those reward in the first place is not like super duper high, super good anyway. It's mainly a status, one more slot, glamour. It's still there. You can still go back and do. Now they sink it to 3-4-5. They put 3-4-5 gear actually in Eureka. You can go in and get. And there's a possibility that, again, we still don't know yet because this is the first time we get armor that is upgradable. This armor, will some of them, because so far it seems like fixed stats, right? Will some of them be better than your raid? If so, if you are going to prepare for ultimate, eventually those things also come in. All this fueler in between, you know, like now it's even more important. If it's just Savage every 6 months, I can tell you it's not. I think a lot of us, before Storm's Blood, I think a lot of people say the same thing. If Storm's Blood is still the same pattern or worse than your Alexander, which it did, because how the fuck can you create something even easier than Creator twice? Probably it's going to happen the third time, but now because you have an ultimate, and then you now make the Savage, seems like a good platform to prepare, or more people able to come into raiding, you know, draw people in. Eventually, you know, it doesn't matter you clear ultimate. I think if you attempt it, I think you can hold your head up and say, yo, I did that. Now I just couldn't get past the last one, but it will still be there. And Square Enix is already guaranteeing that, at least for the first one, it will still be kept relevant, item level. So now, with your Savage and your ultimate coming in like that every 6 months, you know, I think it's okay.
Well, for people gearing for ultimate now, they're going to be doing Eureka, right?
Unknown, because we don't know how far the armor is gonna is
well,
honestly.
No, you just get the 345 from Eureka.
So you mean the current?
Yeah. And then coil.
Yes.
I mean, you're saying that, you know, we only get this huge content drop every 6 months. What are we going to do for the rest of the time? Yoshi P has come out, told people, go do something else. What's wrong with you guys? We will do this once every 6 months for you. We'll give you a little handy on the side, but I mean, you can find something else.
You don't need that's why content to do.
Look at what I've seen a lot of people do. A lot of these high-end raider people, they do the new raid that comes out. They do that. Yeah, these weirdos.
Yeah.
They clear it as fast as they can, and then they go play WoW. That's all. That's what they do for the 5 months in between.
Yeah, I think that I don't know, when you're talking about people complaining or wanting to play this game 24/7 and it be the end all be all of everything they need to do. And so I think
go to Eureka for that now.
I mean, there always has been stuff to do. You level more jobs, go try crafting gathering, there's so many different things you can try that may not be what you want to do in the game, like maybe raiding is all you're focused on and there's just not enough to do. But if you really like the game itself, there are things to do. Plenty. You can stay busy all day doing them, but there's also no reason to. I mean,
if you want, just go play another game. For example, I was playing Hellblade. Arthars was like, "What the hell is Hellblade?"
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
It's such a good sacrifice game. It's Arthars, play it, dude.
But let me I think I'm a pretty good example of someone who I really, really like just 14 in general. Like, I love raiding on 14. I love the aspect of 14. And so I'm the crazy person who has like 6 alts. And once I've cleared a raid and I'm clearing it on my alt, I will make alt groups and help other people clear. And I just love doing it. I have all these characters and I will just jump into people's raids, fill in, clear with their group, then go, okay, well, I'm done with you guys. let me go try a different group and get more people clears, then go through another group and get more people clears, because I just love playing this game. It's so much fun. And so you can always do that if you want to play the game more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So yeah, we do run into this weird situation to where people are complaining about a game that they spent 1,000 hours in already. All right. I mean, you're not even level 70 if you've only done 1,000 hours, right?
You can do it in like 20 hours now.
Can you?
yeah,
Well,
you
with
could level
jump
super quick.
potions and stuff too, you can. But yeah.
Even without a jump potion, you could get to 70 within a week before. And I was doing
Okay.
that.
Yo,
like,
somebody told me, tell me this is bullshit, right? Because I told them it's bullshit. So back me up here. Someone told me that it's possible to get 1 to 70 in 20 hours
Without a jump potion?
without a jump potion. Possible?
On
Impossible, right?
fresh character? Fresh out of the
Fresh
box?
character.
Or an
Yeah.
alt job?
Fresh character.
No, it's impossible.
No fucking way, right? even on new server, those server incentive, those new server incentive, double more XP, more whatever, zero, impossible, right?
I mean, if you do none of the story, you could go into Palace of the Dead, grind that up to 60, probably take you 20 hours. But
But
getting
including MSQ, no fucking way, right?
No,
MSQ,
no. You would,
no way, right?
yeah, you'd hit 20 hours just doing fucking Great King Moggle because nobody will queue into that with you.
or just doing level 50 quests in general, because the Realm Reborn level 50 quests take forever.
They kind of drag on.
Yeah. Okay. So I told the guy bullshit. So okay.
Okay. Here's a question. This is from someone who hasn't started the game yet. And this is something that we get a lot of times. I'm sure if you stream, Arthas, you probably have gotten this question a lot. Is it a good time for a new player to start Final Fantasy XIV?
Yes.
It's
There's never
always
a
a
bad
good
time.
time. Yeah, there's never a bad
Yeah.
time. It's always a good time to start Final Fantasy XIV. I mean, and the people playing this game right now have been playing this game for how long? I've been playing since 2.2. I guess that's like
4 to 5 years.
4 to 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arthas, you've been playing since this game was destroyed by a meteor, right?
Oh, what? I know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Balana, how long have you been playing?
Since Beta 2. I hated Beta 2. I wasn't going to get the game.
My God.
Arthas, it looks like he's had a horrible experience as well.
I went to try. I went to try. All my friends were hyped, right? You always have these friends in real life. There's always like, yo, this next Final Fantasy game, you want to play together? I always look at them like, get the fuck out. You guys gotta quit in 1 or 2 years max. I'm gonna waste time with you guys.
1 to
I
2
would-
years of wasted
whether I
time.
wanna play. Yeah. I will deem whether this game is good enough. When I tried beta, I'm like, nope, let's go back to Final Fantasy 11 until it's okay. Then I heard about Yoshida coming in. So these friends are like, yo, this game is shit. You were right. But this guy came in and start to make difference. I'm like, you I went to try, and then the moment I tried it, I'm like, okay, this guy is up to something. So that's when I
Who's
started.
that guy?
The fourth was not even live letter back then. It was just on forum. The fourth producer letter, that was when I started playing. I was like, this Yoshida guy. Yeah, he made a big difference.
Yeah.
That's where I started.
Keo, how long have you been around, dude?
I started playing in the last week of the beta before Realm Reborn came out. A friend of mine got me into it. It's I just wanted to say, like, coming back to what started this was catch-up mechanics. This game always has catch-up mechanics. Like every patch,
Yeah.
they make it easier and easier to get to level cap. So it's never been, that was like the whole, it's never a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
They keep on releasing ways to make it easier to catch up to your friends and get started in the next bunch of new content with them without having to do all the stuff before it.
Mm-hmm.
You can just skip and get right up to date really quick.
Yeah.
So
And I'd recommend asking people questions when you're confused, because you're going to get confused about a lot of different things. It was weird for me starting this MMO, and I'm assuming it's pretty much the same thing. It's just you're not used to some of the mechanics out there, and you will get lost a couple of times. But that's kind of the fun, man. I don't know. Figuring things out.
If you are getting started, don't burn yourself out on POTD, please.
Yeah.
Just do some other stuff.
Don't do the most efficient way to do it. Just do whatever you want to do.
POTD is for people that are they just want to get through it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And sure, it's efficient, but you will want to slam your face against a wall after too many hours of POTD. So don't do that.
Yeah, it's funny how Palace of the Dead, if it wasn't the most efficient way to level, would we still be doing it?
I mean, I've had everything past 60 for a while, but I mean, I guess it's not too bad if you're climbing. I enjoyed climbing to 200 and leveling, but just doing 41 to 50 over and over again is awful.
Yeah, have you gone back into Palace since all your classes are 60?
Who, me? Yes.
Really?
But I've done 200 times over and over and over again.
Other than 200 runs.
Oh, 41 to 50? No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I still need to do a 200 run sometime. Come carry me, Kyo.
Yeah, I haven't done 200 yet.
Neither have I.
So,
we did it all in one night the other week. We got in there in one night. We bang it out. It's like 9 hours. Or it's less than that. We did it in 7 hours. So just one power run.
And it's so interesting how that content lingered on so long as solo challenge content for how long? Like over a year at least.
I mean, it's still a huge solo challenge.
Yeah.
Like that's MMO, man. You know, things to do doesn't need to be hugely incentivized just based on gear, just based on relevancy, waste of your time. That's MMO, man. Things to do. There's always things to do, whether you want to do it or not, you know?
Yeah. And I think if you go straight through Palace of the Dead, it's a lot more interesting than just farming it to level up, right? Because it changes. It's not the exact same thing. You have different monsters and everything. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. The game seems to be in a pretty good state, to be honest with you. People are still complaining. People say stuff, but I mean, I feel content with it. I mean, I know we're kind of biased talking here with me plus 3 other people who are level 20 in Eureka and actually said they enjoyed it. So, I mean, we are in like a bias setting.
That's why I told you, man. Why didn't you bring like some Fate grinder, you know, level 7 Fate grinder?
I should have a level 5, a level 10, a level 15, and a level 20, and just kind of right there. We just have like a whole variety of people.
Just if you're getting started in Eureka and you're having a bad time, I mean, I know this is a meme, but it does get better when you get to higher level.
Today is the weekend. So many new players coming. That's why I took today. I specifically took not today, yesterday and today. I'm like, maybe I should try start yesterday on my off because I want to see these weekend players that comes in. If you're not already level 7, 15, 16 by now, right? Or maybe you're not even 13 by now, right? I think you're gonna have a hard time, man. I had a hard time. Level 1 to 5 was fucking horrible. It was so bad. I don't know how, man. I don't know how you're gonna start. Like Frosty said, 1 month later, it's gonna even be worse. I don't know how.
You slam your face against whatever for 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Just cross your fingers.
Yeah, 1 to 5 is really bad.
Power.
All right. This is from a stranger bard. This is for Kyo. Kyo is a cutie pie heart. No question mark, no anything, just a statement.
I'm a cutie pie. Well, thank you.
Yeah. There you go. Here's a good question just about, Ultimate and everything else. I mean, it's the general question, I guess. It's from OWO. How excited are you guys for the next Ultimate? Are you guys like amped up for it? Or are you just like, since you guys all of you have had experience with Ultimate, are you excited because of that for the next one?
Hell yeah.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. Arthars?
I think I loved Ultimate. So sorry, Arthars.
Go ahead. Arthars has like a weird face on about it.
I just got this very bad feeling that it will be easier.
It is 100%.
Exactly. That's the only fear I have. Am I excited to do it? I am. But I got this fear that it will be easier. Again, for me, difficulty is time, right? I took 6 weeks to clear Unending Coil, right? Just my static only do like 3 hours a night. And I'm thinking that it's going to be easier. Might not be just difficulty easier, because this time I think people are more prepared. A lot of us, right, even endgame players, right, when the first Ultimate first came out, all of us were just like 4 days. Maximum 3. Muni is like 2 days. Some people it's gonna just take 1 day, This was how bad Savage was that made us feel like that when Square Enix come out with Ultimate. So when it first came out, I'm like, this is fucking amazing, man. This is great. You know, this is what we wanted. This, I mean, again, sadly, it's only maybe average 1% of the people that do it, but this is what we wanted. But we all seen how they do what happened to Savage. I just somehow
they're
fear
cut the
that.
time out, dude. That's all they're gonna do. The difficulty, mechanics, the craziness, I assume is gonna be there the same. They're just gonna make it not as long, and that's just.
But if it's not that long, it will be easier to.
Part of the huge part of difficulty of
balance.
Ultimate is not fucking up for 20 minutes straight.
Yeah.
A lot of people complained about that. They didn't like it.
Yeah, unfortunately though, if they nerf that, it's just that's gonna gut the clear time. The clear time is gonna get by removing the fight time or lowering the fight time.
That's the thing. I'm hyped for it. Don't get me wrong though, but part of me just feel that. Let's not forget. Okay, if you ask me to be a developer, right? If you're more prepared for the next one, which I assume everybody will be, because we were so many people underestimated Square Enix, so many people overestimated themselves. With these two factors coming in, right? So many groups found out that they are not good enough. So many people found out that they have to break their group, sadly. So many people find that they have to, somehow find a way to get group. With all these things, reprog, different methods coming in, prog and recrog. All these things contribute to, I'm not saying about Wolfers. Wolfers is always their aid, right? But for the normal raiding group, it takes us longer just because of that. Now, people is going to be more prepared, right? People is going to be more prepared. It's going to be easier to filter people now to find the next group. People is going to at least want you to have cleared the first one. And right now, since the first one is still relevant, it's not like a walk in the park, people will expect you to know the first one. So you can expect that the next ultimate, you can expect that people are more mentally prepared. People are probably more geared, more prepared. People finding actual people who are in the same motivational level to do it. So with all these things, if I'm a developer, with all these things coming in, I should be making the next one more difficult. But somehow, due to what they done to Savage, a little bit of me think that the next ultimate
it's going to have the Gordius effect. That's all it is. It's going to be the Gordius effect.
Exactly. So as much as I'm looking forward to it, I'm also worried that I'm looking forward to disappointment. That's what I feel.
I hope I have a good feeling they're going to keep the ultimate difficulty kind of stable, because there wasn't the huge pushback on it like there was for A3S.
I feel what would be great right now is, instead of looking, I know that this is impossible to do because they have to start making the content afterwards, but they should go back to what people are feeling closer, I guess, to now than what they should look at to how people reacted towards the beginning. All right. So now we can see how players feel. They've had the content out for a while. What in longevity has this content given to the players? How are players feeling after having this content for a while? Not like Eureka. If they responded to the knee-jerk reactions of Eureka, we wouldn't have anything good later on, right? And so I feel like the knee-jerk reaction for Ultimate lasted a little bit longer, which might have cut into the development time that they put into Ultimate. Do I sound crazy? Yes. Okay. I sound crazy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The reaction. I haven't heard negative reactions about the difficulty of Ultimate.
I've heard lots. This is probably from the people who, I guess I spoke a lot to the people who are doing intense raid schedules for it, and it wore them down. It broke groups apart, right?
Yep.
It destroyed groups. Part of Kio's group is from a broken group, right?
I mean, difficult content will always, as soon as you step up the difficulty, whenever you step up the difficulty, from any difficulty to any difficulty, as long as it's an uphill, you will destroy groups every time. Yeah. If you go from really, really, really easy to still pretty freaking easy, some groups will not be able to cut it from the difficulty hike and they will explode. So I don't like the argument that that's like a shot against the raid tier. I always welcome a difficulty hike. Whenever there's a spike in difficulty, it's a good thing. Yeah, and groups reforming is also natural. It's supposed to happen. And that group disbanding was, let me just say, it wasn't just because of the difficult content.
Right. It
was inner struggles. It usually is.
Yeah.
There's usually some inner conflict going on. So
my static broke up because we finally found out that people that we thought were good enough for the past 2 years suddenly just couldn't step up. And with 20 minutes perfection, demanding perfection for 20 minutes, I understand that eventually you will get there, but I can also understand that why some people doesn't want to give you that more time, even though you eventually can do it. I think eventually everybody who are serious can do it. If you put in dedication, dude, my fucking Dark Knight, my static Dark Knight is so bad. We are fucking Dark Knight main tanking Sigmascape turn 1 to turn 4 on fucking grid. That's how bad he is. And he still managed to somehow find time and clear ultimate. You know, just shows that sometimes difficulty is one thing, but dedication is another thing. You know, it has to be a perfect. It has to be a perfect balance. But sometimes you just can't find that. And if you can't find that, breaking up groups is not just breaking up groups. That's even replacing people. Just have to happen, man. You know, just have to happen.
It's natural. It's completely natural in the raiding world for groups to fracture and reform. And it seems so devastating to people because it takes them out of their security blanket and they blame the content for it. But ultimately you just have to realize it's normal. It's totally normal.
Yeah. The only time I can see that the difficulty spike being, killing statics being an acceptable excuse is the jump from T13 to A3. Going from those two almost killed the raiding scene in this game. Even in Elysium, we went into Gordius with like 8 raid teams and we left with 5. So
pretty easy. How many raid teams do you have now?
And some of them died shortly after that.
You have 4?
4 or 5 in there.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
They keep changing.
Are you guys on a growing pattern, or are you guys at a stable pattern? Where are you guys with groups?
We have three semi-hardcore or /hardcore groups, and we have 1 mid-core, as far as I know. But I mean, like I said, it's always in flux. So.
They come out of the woodwork like as soon as there's a month before the content, groups will start getting formed, lines will start getting drawn.
As soon as we get like a picture of Ultimate.
Pretty much.
Other than that, people are just in a holding pattern doing their weeklies, and it's like a matter of, do we have a group doing weeklies? And that's it.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. I parked turn 3, so it was a struggle, man. There was one day I parked 18 hours straight, turn 3. I was streaming it for 18 hours.
In NA or JP?
In JP. 18 hours. Fucking Astrologian, man, I tell you. Astrologian is one of the reasons why some groups break up as well. Mine, we just couldn't handle the. I don't know. Why would you, if you are in a raid, why would you risk it and play an Astrologian untested job just so that because you find it fun? I get it, you want to find your individual fun, but when you are in a static, and especially if you are the leader, you have been a good scholar the whole time, you ditched that job and you went straight full dive into Astrologian in 3.0. That was what kind of broke my group back then, and I have no choice. I have to park. So that's how I got my park clear. So I wouldn't know how bad it was for static. But I heard a lot of stories. A lot of people, I'm a mythic World of Warcraft raider. Go back to your World of Warcraft, man.
Wow.
Eventually they just stop. They come up with all these titles. I've done this. Now Heaven Sword, Savage content. I heard so much stories about it. Couldn't handle Living Liquid. All of them just left the game. I heard a lot of stories and leave a lot of people groupless. So it's like, Gordius was pretty devastating back then.
Yeah.
This is totally an aside, but
sure.
Yeah, the Astrologian 3.0 always reminds me of the one time we were in A3 with an Astro for my first time. I was not the Astro, it was somebody else. And we got to the very last phase. We were like on Cascade 4. And in the middle of Cascade 4, Living Liquid turns around, faces the Astrologian, fluid swings him because he took aggro, and then goes back to the tank. And I'm just like completely taken out of my element. Like a healer just took aggro at the end of the fight? Like this would never happen, ever. The white mage is constantly shedding half the aggro. The scholar is just not causing that much aggro because they split their healing with the fairy, and is
dude, you actually get to the 4th cascade with an Astro.
Yeah,
it was
farm.
Oh, okay. When I was progging, it is mathematically almost impossible to get past 2nd cascade with an Astrologian. mathematically impossible. The barrier is just not good enough. It was impossible. We just couldn't do it. That was when we were like, dude, you want to consider playing Scholar? And then he's like, I don't have time to level up a Scholar, man. Astrology is the only one I have. And then I look at his search comment, he's got 60 Miner, he's got 60 Crafter, but doesn't have the time to play a Scholar main leader. You know, that was the... But you guys know that every one of us have this childhood memory, scar memory. My childhood memory came late. It was in 2.0. That was when my static leader went full into Astrologian, and up till today, it still scar me, you know? Can't fucking believe it, man.
It's okay, Arthars, dude. It's all over now. It's all over, man.
It's gonna be okay. You'll be fine.
All right. So, I mean, in general, I think that this is kind of the conversation that I wanted to have after Eureka. I wanted to kind of bleed into where Final Fantasy 14 kind of is now. Because you have people always throwing out these negative comments. But I feel like after talking to you guys, it's actually not in a bad spot. We're actually doing pretty good.
It's theoretically the best it's ever been, because we have all these different difficulties. You have all the difficulties of the rainbow you can go and attempt.
Yeah.
Or you can go into Eureka for 36 hours straight and grind mobs.
Yeah.
Be like me.
Lose your soul. Yeah. But I feel like it gives us what an MMO should be giving us right now. Exactly what I would want an MMO to give me, and what I can expect an MMO to give me. I'm not expecting to go into the game and have some breakthrough emotional experience where now I feel closer to my father at the end of the game or something like that. I'm expecting to go in there and just dick around and have fun, which is kind of what we do with most games, right?
Yep.
You go play any Fortnite, you go play Counter-Strike, you're just kind of in there dicking around. You're not out there going for a tournament, unless if you are, then that's your life, right? And that's your profession.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different.
Sometime, if you go into Eureka and you actually do get all the way through to 20, at some point, you will have grinded a mob at least a little bit, hopefully, where you were really careful about the cast bar move and you had to stun it. And you were really worried. And if you got a second ad, you were really worried that they were just one-shot people with the cast bar move. And you'd be really careful. And you just come back about 5 levels later, or no, maybe like 8 levels later on Warrior. Pull 10 of them. And just like AoE and Steel Cyclone Benediction yourself every like time you get enough gauge to do so, and just laugh about how easy it is. You can't tell me you're not having fun, because I just have a blast every time I Steel Cyclone and see 5 hits for 20k.
I did see a screenshot of someone doing
999.
Yeah,
the LB2.
Yeah.
That's the true end game. You go
The
back.
scaling is just silly in that mode. It's just absolutely silly, and I think it's fun to just play with at least a little bit.
And the good thing is you can go and do that stupid stuff and actually contribute. You can spawn NMs by doing stupid stuff like that.
I would pull all the scorpions for circuit. When I got to 20, I got on my warrior. I pulled every single scorpion, and people were in shout chat going like, "What the hell is this?" They just couldn't believe I was literally grabbing the entire area, and I loved it. And it was like they would actually hurt, because even on level 20, they do a decent amount of damage, but every Steel Cyclone's a benediction, so I could just live forever. Release means I'm invulnerable, so it's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, we're kind of getting near the end here. After the show finished, I will talk a little bit, if you guys want to talk a little bit about MogTalk in general, the absence just a bit, and some other things off topic from this show. But I feel like I want to keep that outside of this show because it doesn't really fit the topic very well. But do you guys have anything else to say kind of with Eureka, PvP, or PvE? I keep saying PvP because it rolls off the tongue so well.
It's because every show's got to be a PvP show for you, Frosty.
I haven't played it, and I haven't been.
It's a new season.
But it's.
Have you seen the mount? Like, come on, you got to get that mount.
You encourage. Okay, never mind. We're going. We're ending the show. we're not starting that train. But Arthars, I appreciate you coming on here. Is there anything else that you want to say before we finish up on topic?
No. Not much. Nothing.
No. All right. Well, you guys should be checking out.
Just less talk. Play the game more.
Shut up and play, right, Arthars?
Yeah, shut up and play. Yeah.
You guys, you should check out Arthars. He's doing this whole new green screen thing. He has like 1,000 different scenes. He goes Super Saiyan. Tons of different things on there.
Dude, it's fun, man. It's fun, man. It's like how do I say? Streaming for 2 years, right? I'm not saying that it's getting bored. I still would love to stream every day, but to try something out. Sometimes streaming is not just about playing the game, it's having fun with people, make people laugh, and then you yourself look at it. Sometimes when I look at my own clips, those clips that people post, I myself feel so fucking embarrassed looking at them myself. But it's fun, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to bring joy to people,
Well,
rather than bring rage and joy to people. Yeah.
You look like you're having fun with it at least.
Yeah. I'm having a lot of fun.
Balana, thank you for coming on again. You're always a pleasure on here. I love to see where your beard's at every single time you come on.
Still haven't shaved it since the first time I was on MogTalk.
I love it. I feel attached to you in that way. We have this bond because of your beard.
Indeed. And maybe you can see me at FanFest and stroke your hands through it a little bit.
I will.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to record anything at FanFest this time. I think
that was a nightmare.
It was horrible. I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to do. I felt like it wasn't what I wanted from FanFest. So I'll probably be changing up a little bit this year.
We might be able to work something out. We'll talk later. But
okay.
Shout outs to all the mutants who were with me leveling up in Eureka, all you crazy people. Thank you so much for helping out and all that. Shout outs to Elysium, shout outs to everybody in Gilgamesh, and one special shout out to Mr. Happy. He's going through a little bit of a hard time right now. His father's passed away, so just keep him in your thoughts, and he'll hopefully be back shortly here.
Yeah, it's a rough time for the guy, and I do wish him the best. I know it's not a great experience. I've had bad experiences before. I can't relate because it's not the same experience at all. It's always different, but yeah. Kyo, thank you for coming on again, man. PvP, PvE, PV, whatever. You have a lot of fun coming on this show and giving me... I feel like you just have insight. Like, you always have this opinion that doesn't seem like venom. Does that make sense?
I'm a very laid back person. I don't get angry very much, but when I do get angry, you know it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Did you get angry? Were you the one yesterday that were you and what is that Mal voice both sound so soothing, right? That I can't even tell which is which. But were you the one yesterday talking about, a certain healer, like, oh, it feels so much different? Then I'm like, yo, you can't say that on stream. And then you're like, but it's the truth. Wait, were you that guy?
Well, okay, no. No.
Wait, what?
I was not the one you were referring to, but
okay.
I definitely had some things to say about that.
Okay. I thought that was you raging. Okay.
No.
That wasn't you. Okay.
One day we'll see it.
I get just as angry as everybody else does. I just suppress it very well. That's all.
And like, if he flips his camera around, you'll likely see like a whole black wall and like blood splatters and just like all these like horrible things. He just releases all of his stress. It's just
everybody, man. Everybody's got that little beast in there,
Yeah.
We just haven't seen the Kionu's one yet,
Maybe one day. Kyo, again, do you have anyone to shout out? Do you have anything else you want to say before we finish up and wrap up the recording?
I don't think I can top Balana's, so just second all the same shoutouts he does. If you spot any EM members romping around in Eureka, feel free to give us an Elysium.gg shout out. We do appreciate it.
Do we expect you and Wheelchair to go for Ultimate?
We will be, yes.
All right.
You can see us in the progression race for sure.
I'm going to be very excited for that. Hopefully we'll have the website up in some capacity by that point too. I don't know. It's moving, but it's hard. It's very difficult to get it going, but we're moving on.
We're real excited. You have a lot of eyes on you for that website because that would be an amazing addition.
That's why it's going to take a while too, because I have to make sure it's something you guys want, and if it looks half-assed, I'm probably not going to go forward until it's completely finished. So
you have a lot of support in a lot of the endgame community, so if you need any help with anything, like, you can always let us know. So
I will do. All right. Well, guys, thank you all for watching this. Stick around for a bit. We are going to have kind of a post-discussion show. The guests may not stick around. If they can't stick around, that's perfectly fine too. But there are a few things I want to say too, and just talk with you guys, whoever sticks around, about. I appreciate everybody watching, all the viewers, everything else. If you enjoyed the stream, that's great. If you didn't, you don't have to follow. You don't have to come see us. I'm going to see if we can be here next Saturday. I should be able to have another show next Saturday. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to roll the credits, and then we'll get into the post-show stuff. So hang tight, guys. Oh, yeah. Say bye. Bye, guys. Remember, the be good, keep this, stay frosty. Bye.